Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Rally Towel Sports.
What's
I guess
up?
we'll call this a line to gain production through Rally Towel Sports.
Line to Gain
Right?
presented by.
Yes, line to gain presented by Rally Towel Sports.
Sports.
It's
Yes.
just the three. It's just the three of us doing a podcast again. It's all the same. We're all back together. The boys are back together. It's similar to an "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou" situation. Just a couple of rambling men, right? Just
Absolutely.
for-
Bruce, thanks for coming in and
for
liking the
dreams.
video. For those of you in here, please make sure that you drop that like. Make sure you share the stream. And if you are enjoying it and you have not yet smashed that follow button, please do so. We're doing the best we can. As we tried to explain on Tuesday, which I don't know if that message really got through to a ton of people. We wanted to consolidate to Rally Towel Sports. We're still going to be doing each segment. We just want to make the streams a little bit easier for you guys to find. So, Corey, we missed you.
And I missed you. I was a little preoccupied on Tuesday, so I appreciate you guys carrying that torch. But it's good to be back. Good to be on Line to Gain. The Line to Gain faithful, I'm going to share it right now to the Line to Gain page so that they know that we're live on Rally Towel Sports. And we will be going forward. And I'm not sure when we're going to take down the Line to Gain page. But it will happen. We're going to take it down eventually. At least that's my view on it, just to get everybody on the RTS wagon. Tonight, though, of course, beer of the night brought to you by Ryan Guy's
Cheetah.
Ooh.
It's a lager.
It's a nice lager, real nice lager.
It's light.
Yeah,
It is light.
Doesn't sit too heavy.
Yeah, you can drink several of those and you won't feel too bloated.
No. Yeah. Don't worry about that part. I got it covered. We're good.
Attaboy.
Water.
All right.
Via the Brita filtered water bottle.
Man.
Keeping it classy over here.
What a wonderful production the Brita filter was to society.
Oh yeah.
Fantastic. It's interesting. We in Michigan we live on a well. It's pretty frequent.
Sure.
In northern Detroit area. Well water, rusty, earthy well water. I take pride in it. We own our water source. We have no water bill every month. It's fantastic. It's probably one of the favorite parts about my house. In fact, going forward, I may never not live on a well again because fuck paying for water. That's my view. Other than the fact that the taste is, it's not great. Nice, rusty, earthy water. So we got a nice Brita water filter. I invested in a nice bottom loading contraption where we can get nice, beautiful alkaline water at $2.50 per 5 gallons.
Ooh.
So we have a water.
That's solid.
It's a nice investment. Nice investment.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Looks like this game's getting ready to kick off if it hasn't already. Let's go ahead and get into last week's picks.
Let's make our picks for tonight real quick.
I think it's pretty clear we're all taking the Ravens.
Taking the Ratbirds. Yep. I got Deontay Freeman going tonight in 2 leagues.
Ooh.
It's a bold strategy, Cott.
He had a great game last week. He's coming on strong. I like it. All
right. We'll see.
Bold strategy, Con. We'll see how that plays out.
See how it pays off.
So they just shared a side by side of Lamar Jackson's 2019 through Week 9 to this season's Week 9, and he is actually having a better year than he had in 2019. Which, if we're all thinking, it is his MVP season. So, Lamar Jackson
is he on pace for another?
He is on pace, actually exceeding his 2019 stats.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
that's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, it's insane what that guy can do with the ball in his hand. It's fitting that he's on the cover of Madden. I'm going to say this. It's like watching somebody play a video game and you're Lamar Jackson's on the sticks for you, and he's just chucking and jiving through the field. It's insane.
Well, it was like playing with Mike Vick in the old Madden games.
Madden 04.
It was cheating.
Yeah, you could not be the Falcons in 2004.
We're allowed
because if you did, Michael Vick would just run for 80 yards because you just let the ball go into the end zone and then you just back and forth. It's like playing with Bo Jackson on Tecmo Bowl. Same concept.
Similarly to like utilizing the Denver Broncos in NFL Blitz 2000.
Terrell Davis and McCaffrey.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Man, great video game references. I appreciate that.
All right.
I'm running into some buzzsaw trying to get this game up on the telly here. So bear with me while I do that. But I will.
Oh, good. Carol Baldwin, thank you for liking the video. I appreciate it.
That's my mom.
What's up?
Thanks, Mom.
Hey, look at that.
Hi, Mom.
We really have 21 shares of this video right now.
Yeah, we're doing it tonight, fellas.
We got 21 shares of this video right now.
Yep.
That's bananas.
The world needs to see this.
Yes, them shares is bananas. I like it. I like it. I love you guys.
Sorry,
All right.
Rob, what's up, man? Thanks for popping in and liking the video. Chad, if you guys are in here and haven't, please do so.
Let's interrupt Bobby's lunch here, dinner, to get into last week.
What was that? Those M&Ms?
Those peanut M&Ms? You son of a bitch. You son of a bitch, they are. Are they fresh out of the freezer as well?
No.
Oh, well, then you're just a communist, I guess.
I'm not gonna lie to you, they're not. They just sit up here next to my computers when I get snacky.
Whatever.
They're still delicious. Don't judge me.
I am not going to advertise it, but I do have a. For some reason, I'm getting a location issue because I'm in Cincinnati. If you guys didn't know, I'm in Cincinnati, so I don't have access to my my cable program. That said, I do have a less than legal way to view NFL games, and if you want to DM me or let me know, I can give you that free stream to watch NFL football games for those of you out there that need it. I'm not going to advertise that right here.
No.
Come on. I would never do that. I would never do that.
Not right now.
No.
We are law-abiding citizens here.
I am. That is a fact.
All right, let's get into last week's picks. First game of the week, Thursday night game. Jets, Colts. We all three took the Colts. They won by 15 points. Jets still played reasonably good. I think if Mike White doesn't get hurt, I think that's a different game. Because he
did look good. He did look good prior to injuring the hand, right?
Is there any update on his injury? I didn't even look at it.
No, I haven't looked either.
I know he's questionable to start this week.
I think he is starting.
Okay,
That's
is
the
he?
last I heard.
Okay, yeah, I wasn't sure.
Last I heard is that he is starting.
Good.
But I will say, even though the Jets have lost quite a few games this year, last couple of weeks they have put up some points.
They have.
So
I mean,
offensively, they're just Mike. I don't know if Mike White's the answer, but
they just couldn't stop the run last week. I mean, it was abysmal. Jonathan Taylor, Naheem Hines, they were running down their throat on a consistent basis.
Yeah, and Mike White will be getting his best receiver in Corey Davis back this week as well, which I think that makes a difference to have him on the field.
Right.
Because you're going to have him and Crowder and Michael Carter all on the field at the same time.
And Elijah Moore.
One of the four of those guys should be open now, which makes Mike White more dangerous. I don't know. I mean, Corey Davis, I think, never lived up to what I thought his what my expectations were for him in Tennessee. Yeah. But he has had a nice start to the 2021 season prior to the injury. So I think that Mike White makes him even better. So I'm interested to see. I actually picked him up off a waiver wire this week in one of my leagues, and am starting him because I have that much faith in him. So stay tuned.
Yeah. Next game on the board was a game that we all three got wrong. Raiders-Giants. Raiders went into good old New York and got beat.
One of the many wild results that happened last week.
Yeah, last week was insane.
I mean, to be fair, this is the least shocking one. Giants have been competitive in a lot of games lately. Raiders have had a lot going on lately, just from a team perspective in general. Yeah. So I guess we can attribute it to that. But yeah, this is just one of many that we'll get to. That was pretty wild.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So I do have the game up, by the way, so I can
nice.
do little game breaks here.
Is that 2 straight wins for the Giants?
That I have no idea.
I think they won the week before.
I'm gonna need to look that one up.
They'll get Saquon back.
No, I'm sorry. They got beat by the Chiefs the previous week.
They are on a bye this week, similar to the Bengals.
Yeah, so they'll get Saquon after the bye week back as well.
I think that was always kind of the plan if you're a fantasy holder of Saquon. The plan was there were talks that he could potentially get back in this previous game against the Raiders, but I think the plan was always to kind of hold him out throughout the bye week, make sure he's healthy going for the rest of the season. So big third down here coming up for the Ravens. I don't know where you guys are at on yours, but I got third and 9.
Third down as well. Third and 9.
Ravens coming to the line here. Are we all on the same time frame right now? About to happen?
Think we're fairly close. I'm actually on live TV.
Let's get and ball snapped.
Yep.
Oh, free runner. Lamar checks it deep.
He gave
up on that.
I'm gave up on that. You guys.
Oh, okay. See, This is what happens when I'm not in my domicile. The Dolphins got a free runner. Holland, number 8 there. Looks like he stops. He stops going after Lamar. And then not only that, who we got here?
He could have caught that.
He could have caught it. That's what I'm saying. He quit on the route.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got Justin Tucker, the new Legatron, dare I say? I don't know.
Yeah, Senor. Other than the guy from San Diego State, I mean, Justin Tucker's incredible. That guy.
We have to think about a new nickname for that guy.
I've just been reading. There's more and more coming out about that kicker / punter.
Prime.
Yeah, he pinned an 88-yard punt on Saturday. 88 yards. He pinned it on like the 4-yard line.
Yeah, stay tuned for this guy when he gets to the NFL. He's going to be an absolute game changer. He could potentially be one of the first special teams guys ever taken in the first round.
There's only ever been one.
First round. Come on.
Do you guys know who the only special teams player ever? Yeah.
Yeah.
What, in the first round?
Yeah, he's the only kicker to ever be taken in the first round in the history of the NFL draft.
And listen, Janikowski's great. But that being said, there's only one reason why he was taken in the first round. Do you know what that reason is?
Because he was a degenerate?
No.
Oh.
Because the team I like where your head's at. The team that selected him, the owner, was also the GM, right?
Oh, yeah.
So the GM couldn't get fired. There are 0 GM. If I'm a GM and I'm looking out for my job, there's a 0% chance that I'm taking a fucking kicker in round 1.
But just imagine how much of a weapon that is, though. Like, you're pinned deep, and then you can completely change the field.
Tell me one team that takes a punter in round 1. One team.
I mean, the Raiders again.
I don't know who that team is, but like, if I'm a GM and I don't have a lot of needs, like I don't have a lot of important needs, I would strongly consider taking him high to make sure that we secure our next 15 years for special teams.
Let's say day 1's out the window. There's not a shot in hell that he gets drafted day 1. What if that guy gets drafted day 2 in the 2nd or 3rd round? Is that the worst pick in the history of time?
It might be.
No, I will argue it to the death.
No, but look at these guys that get taken in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th round, and you're taking a fucking punter above them. Like, that's crazy.
Well, it's funny because I see Bobby's perspective of it, right? Because a punter of that caliber is an absolute weapon. But the caveat to that is that's the only thing that he does. Unless the guy does lead special teams and tackles. So maybe, I don't know, he turns into just an animal as soon as he punts and he's down the 80 yards down the field, meeting every returner at the 10-yard line. But if he gets drafted, my guess is that when he gets drafted, because he will certainly get drafted, there's too much publicity around this guy to not be a pick. He will be an early day 3 pick, like a 4th or 5th round pick.
I will say he goes day 2. I'll call my shot day 2.
As we get closer to draft, I love doing mocks, and I did 4 million of them last offseason. I'll probably do 4.5 million this next offseason. As we get closer, there might be a 6-pack on the line for that one, Bob. There might be.
100%. I'll throw down on that.
There was one kicker taken in this year's draft. One kicker. He was taken in the 5th round. And do you know who he is?
No.
Evan McPherson.
Evan McFucking-Fearson. Big Kick Mick. He is the only kicker taken in the whole draft. And he's taken in the 5th round. So I might, we can up it to a bottle of bourbon if you're feeling frisky. Who knows? We'll see. A lot of time before the draft.
Throwing liquor on the table, boys. I like it.
A lot of time before the draft.
All right. Next game on the board. The only game of the week that we were split on, Falcons and Saints, was a very, very close game. Unfortunately, Todd took another L on the split. The Dirty Birds came out with it. That's fucking showbiz, baby.
Even with Calvin Ridley not being into football, the Dirty Birds came out on top.
Yeah, that was, it's very surprising. I mean, Kyle Pitts had a good game. Patterson had a good game. I'm missing somebody else that played big.
Mike Davis?
Okay. No, he had a bad game.
Did he?
Yeah.
Cordell Patterson.
Yeah, he had a running and a receiving touchdown, I believe. So,
yep. I love watching number 84 come out of the backfield, though. I
love it. It's great.
Matty Ice in a PPR league had like 37 or 38 points. He had a huge game, 300+ yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Without Calvin Ridley, that's your greatest asset that you have on the field. And now he's not even playing.
I think I also have the Ravens defense going tonight, if I'm not mistaken. A nice little stop there on the out route there.
Wow. That was pass interference.
Is Tua not going to play tonight either? Is that the?
I think he is playing.
No, that's Brissett out there.
Oh, Jacoby. 2 gloves. Jacoby 2 gloves. He's got 2 gloves. No, he doesn't. He's got one. I missed. Wait, does he have 2? I don't know.
I don't know. I can't tell. I was absolutely just staring at it when you said that.
He is wearing 2 gloves.
No, he's not.
He's not? Okay, you're right. He's wearing 1 glove.
No, he's wearing 1. He's wearing 1.
All right. Well.
Anyways.
Now that we've got that solved, thank God.
Yeah.
Back to what is probably the biggest
podcast. Have a good night.
All right, guys, wrapping it up. The biggest upset of the week. Bruce, thank you for the share. The Buffalo Bills,
number 32 in GABP,
rolled into Jacksonville.
1, 2, 3.
Bruce. The Bills went to Jacksonville and got beat by a field goal. What the hell happened?
0 touchdowns, I believe, in this game. If I'm not
0,
no
all field goals.
Zilch. Yeah. Matt Ryan in the first half had 50. He had more yards running than he did passing.
What clearly happened, obviously, is Urban Meyer took Sean McDermott out. He's like, "Let me show you some shit. I'm gonna take it to this local bar. We're gonna practice some under center snaps. You know what I'm talking about." We're going to sit at a bar stool. We're going to have a nice little lady come up and dance, Shawnee. Let me show you how the old Irby does it. And then Sean McDermott he can't party. He can't party like Urban Meyer.
He was too hungover to coach? Is that what you're saying?
Too hungover. Urban Meyer is the party king, thus got Sean too fucked up the night before, and then the Jaguars took it to him. That's what happened. Clearly.
Moral of the story, if you watch the highlights of this game, which if you watched them, it was very disappointing. The Bills looked like they had no idea what the fuck was going on the whole entire game. And Jacksonville's defense is not great, but the Josh Allen on the other side of the ball for Jacksonville absolutely shut down Josh Allen.
So we had something that never has happened before.
Yeah.
Right.
A defensive player with the exact same name sacked a quarterback with the exact same name. I read that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And actually, some other things that had happened in the last few weeks, we had, last year, we had Andy Dalton throw a touchdown to Dalton Schultz. And then this year, we had Cooper Rush throw a touchdown to Amari Cooper. Those had never happened before. Or no, I'm sorry. Amari Cooper threw a touchdown to Cooper Rush.
That's right. Last week he did. Yeah.
So we had a guy with the same last name throwing a touchdown to a guy with the same first name. And then it happened again this year. And then now same names. What is going on in the world? We're running out of
both with the Cowboys.
Both with the Cowboys. What are the Dallas Cowboys up to? That's what we really need to start.
Jerry Jones, we need an answer.
Jerry Jones is just sitting on his pile of money, just thinking up ways that he can just keep getting into the record books.
It's not right.
Right. All right. For the second week in a row, I have to be upset for you guys for the next one.
Dude.
Browns Bengals. What happened?
Oh my God! Well, three plays happened.
Yeah.
Right. That's it. That's the variance in that game. Are 3 plays.
And they're huge plays.
Right. Well, that's the caveat to that, right? Is that it's 3 plays that resulted in 17 points, right? A 99-yard pick six from Denzel Ward on a
awful throw, by the way.
Yeah, terrible. Fumble by Jamar Chase results in a field goal.
Yep.
And then Nick Chubb running the ball 70 yards down the field, untouched. I mean, literally untouched the whole way. There's a reason why he ran track and field in Georgia. When he gets in the open field, he's faster than anybody else. It's actually insane watching him run the open field with how big he is.
I was on Twitter this last week, and going into the game, there are some people on Bengals Twitter that are like, where do the Browns match up better than us? Well, I look at offensive line. Obviously, the Browns' offensive line is probably one of the best offensive lines in football. I think we got him at quarterback. I think the Bengals have a better quarterback overall. Maybe didn't show on Sunday specifically, but if you had to start your franchise right now, most people are taking Burrow over Baker. It's not a knock on Baker. It's just what it is. I would say wide receivers, generally speaking. I'd probably give them the edge on the tight end. I'd give them the edge on the defensive line. I would give us the edge on linebackers, and I would give them the edge on the secondary, right. So I would give us the edge on special teams in general, generally speaking. That said, I made the comment about the running game. The running game, it's not even close. The Browns have the best running game in football. It's not even close. And I was getting a lot of crap back on that. Like, look at Mixon. He's right there with Chubb. It's like you're forgetting about Kareem Hunt. First of all, you're forgetting about Kareem Hunt. You're not even talking about him. And then look what D'Ernest Johnson did in his one start on Thursday Night Football.
Yeah, and he may get another opportunity on Sunday if Chubb doesn't clear the COVID waiver.
Exactly. First of all, why couldn't Nick Chubb get COVID last week? That's all I'm saying.
I don't know, dude. I think D'Ernest Johnson plays this. I mean, he doesn't break a 70-yard touchdown.
Yeah, that's the thing. And he's getting tackled. There was a lot of lost tackles. I don't think D'Ernest Johnson breaks tackles like Nick Chubb. And Nick Chubb broke a lot of tackles.
He does that very well.
But to your point, Todd, this game, all this game really did for me was magnify the fact that the NFL specifically, football in general, but more so the NFL, is literally a game of inches. It's a game of inches. If Joe Burrow throws that pass 6 inches further away from the inside hip of Jamar Chase, you're probably looking at a touchdown right there.
Yeah, and the momentum never shifts one way or the other. It stays in line, and it's again. I mean, it's not like Cincinnati's defense was on the field a lot either, right?
No,
and Cincinnati controlled.
Yeah,
and it resulted in 41 points.
Yeah, and the other things the plays that you had mentioned, if Jamar Chase holds onto that ball, if he goes down 2 inches earlier, probably not a fumble. If Trey Hendrickson wraps up on Nick Chubb, gets a couple more inches of hand on him, he's probably going down. This game really just magnified how much of a game of inches, even more so on the Bengals offense. There were a couple of plays. Jamar Chase down the field, hit him in the hands, a couple more inches, looking at a big play right there and a potential momentum swing. So really what happened is the Bengals didn't capitalize. Their offensive players didn't come up and perform. You see how vulnerable their offense and dependent their offense really is on the big plays from Jamar Chase, right?
Right.
And the Browns did that. They did capitalize on those big plays. And that's what really saw. I don't necessarily think that the Bengals are that much worse than the Browns. Like if we play 10 games, I don't think that's happening more often than not. But what I think you really saw was a magnification of one team capitalizing and the other team underperforming. Really
and we haven't even talked about the 68-yard touchdown pass to Donovan Peoples-Jones where he had 11 yards of separation from Hilton. It was
Eli Apple.
Eli Apple, thank you. So Mary and I were watching the game together, and they were showing the highlight of it. And Mary is knowledgeable on football, and I don't want to make it sound like she's not. She said, "Why did he give him so much room?" And I said, "I don't know, Mary. It doesn't make sense to me either."
Stop talking. I'm getting angry.
Yeah,
getting ready to throw this TV.
Mary, are you burning me right now? Are you burning me?
It's so frustrating. Look, Eli Apple. I don't consider him
fumble
an elite.
Eli Apple doesn't start on most teams. Let me just put that.
No, and thank God for Bateman sitting there. But Donovan Peoples-Jones took him to lunch and dinner on that play. It was kind of embarrassing for Eli Apple, and he handled it exactly how he should have. He walked off the field with the tail between his legs and really he looked genuinely embarrassed.
And
should have been.
It was an interesting trend this last week in the NFL. Odell Beckham, arguably the number one offensive weapon outside of Nick Chubb on the Browns.
Justin Tucker missed a field goal, boys.
48-yarder nonetheless.
That guy could hit one from 70, but not from 48. I'm sorry, continue. That doesn't happen often. I had to.
He missed it by like a nut hair. It wasn't by much.
Right.
So the Browns, are at least their most famous weapon on offense, Odell Beckham Jr. We'll get to him when we start talking Rams later, but Odell, spoiler alert, but Odell is, arguably one of the biggest weapons. He's gone, and the Browns' offense excels, right? The Broncos, who we're going to talk about, who clearly their defense was being held back by Von Miller. Von Miller was holding this team back the whole time, clearly, because they shine like a diamond. Shout out Rihanna. And there was Saquon Barkley, Kenny Galladay, clearly holding the Giants back at all costs.
Yeah. All they needed was Devontae Booker. That's it.
That's all they really needed. That's all you really need. That and love, according to the Beatles. So,
all these references tonight.
I'm so sad. I hit B-dubs up with my dad before I got on the podcast, so I'm about 2.5 Mick Ultras deep already. So
that's fair. I visited a fine establishment in Hurricane called Fat Patty's, where I also enjoyed.
Is she nice though?
Average. I don't know how else to
But she's a larger woman, Patty.
She's a portly Patty. How about that? That should have been the name of the restaurant.
Portly Patties.
Yeah,
come on
down
to Portly Patties.
The line to this, and mind you, I'm assuming West Virginia is not known for their cuisine just across the board. The line to this restaurant.
I think meth and Mountain Dew is pretty much exclusively it.
And Cools.
And Randy Moss.
Randy Moss. Yeah. Thundering Herd. There was the wait to sit in this restaurant was an hour and 15 minutes.
Wow.
And I got to tell you, I I would have rather have just gone to McDonald's than eaten the food that I got from this place. The only thing that was good, 32-ounce Bud Light drafts, $1.75.
Holy shirts and pants.
Yeah,
I'd be all
so
over that.
Yeah, you can go there. You can go there for $20 and just walk out hammered.
yeah.
That's with tip.
Oh yeah.
And he did.
Yeah. That's why I was happy to join you guys tonight. But that's Portly Patties for you, in case anybody's wondering if you ever want to make a trip to Hurricane.
All right.
I don't
like a place I had frequent.
Nope.
Next game on the board. We all three had the same team in this one. The Patriots went to Carolina to take on the Panthers. The Pats edged out the victory in this one.
Mac Jones.
Who? 281-330.
We've made a lot of music references tonight, and I like that
most of them are before 2010. I just want to put that out there.
We went from we've been in Mike Jones territory and the Beatles territory, and I can't wait to see how we keep going back and forth through these.
Rihanna's somewhere in the middle, more skewed. See, that's enough. It's pop, but at the same time, it's kind of hip hop.
Chat, we chose to be happy tonight. Okay.
We woke up this morning and decided to have a good day. You can do that too.
True.
First step, sharing this video is really what it comes down to.
Yeah, I mean, nothing too exciting out of this game. I did have some big news come out of Carolina today.
In light of Sam Darnold being injured, right?
Yep. We'll get into that when we go through the picks for this week. Next game on the board, Broncos Cowboys. We all three had the Cowboys, and we were all three wrong. How?
Massively.
How?
Like I said, Von Miller clearly holding this defense back because they made fools out of the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, what the hell happened?
I don't know. It was awesome.
Ezekiel Elliott got hurt. That happened.
Oh, like how bad?
Well, he's playing, but he didn't play. He got hurt the first quarter and didn't come back. So, or first or second quarter, but didn't play the rest of the game. But it honestly didn't matter because Denver controlled the ball for most of the game anyway.
Sure. Teddy touchdowns out there dropping dimes.
Right.
What the hell?
Yeah, no, crazy game. Definitely one of the upsets of the week for sure. Next game on the board, one of the teams that is featured this evening. The Vikings were on the road in Baltimore. We all three took the Ravens.
There it is.
Third time's a charm.
I promise I haven't been drinking.
This was a really close game.
I think this was the best game of the week.
It might have been. It went to overtime. Yeah, overtime game. Yeah.
Yeah, it came down to a Justin Tucker field goal.
Shocker. Yeah, which is the only coach who
what an absolute weapon to have.
Yeah, you should probably draft him in the second round.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna plant my feet firm in that ground.
Do it. Just
I like it. I like the way you stand your ground. I appreciate that.
Yeah, nothing too crazy. I mean, it was one of the best games of the week. Lamar Jackson is continuing to look great. And I would assume tonight, once they get rolling, or at least as we assume he'll get rolling, they should take care of business tonight. Next game we had the Texans on the road in Miami. Dolphins took care of business against the Texans. Low scoring game, 17-9. I don't think the Texans ever got in the end zone, did they? Was that all
Doesn't
field goals?
like it.
No. Nope. Tyrod Taylor returned and played very poorly.
You mean Ty God?
Ty God Taylor.
Ty God.
Ty God or Tyga?
Ty God. Ty God.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, nothing too exciting happening in that game. Okay. Next game on the board was a much better game to watch. Chargers on the road in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
27-24 finish. Chargers taking it by 3.
I got out by the skin of my teeth on that one, boys. That was one of my survivor picks. That was whew.
Yeah. Jalen Hurts has played very well the last 3 weeks. I don't want to say that he's played great, but he has played very well. How's that for?
Yeah.
That's all grammatically correct so far, right?
I believe
You're
so.
As I
good.
described
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Hold on. Yeah, it checks out. You're good. Yeah.
Yeah. New York says it's good. Perfect.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that if you have a deciding factor to play, I think you play Jalen Hurts this week if you have two quarterbacks.
Yeah.
I just see.
Like if you have to play two quarterbacks, is what you're saying?
I started Jalen Hurts last week because Tom Brady was on a bye in my PPR league.
Yeah, I'm saying if you're deciding between two quarterbacks, and unless you have like a Herbert or a Lamar Jackson,
Right.
if you're like in the middle of the run, I think you take Jalen Hurts this week. I think he continues to have big upside. I enjoy watching him play and watching him get better and make better decisions. That's the big thing. I think at the beginning of the season, he made very, very mediocre decisions, and he continues to kind of be more cerebral as he gets into the season.
Oh, Lamar with a very, very, very bad throw there. Way too much touch. You literally just need to put this ball in that guy's chest, through his chest.
Yeah, you fire it.
Yeah, you just
rifle it in there. He has the capability of.
Put it on him, and he lobs it up and just begs the safety to pick that one off.
Yeah, also put his receiver in a bad situation.
Right, and I think that's Hollywood, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Marquise Brown would have gotten unloaded on if he would have caught that.
But kind of to your comment there about the Eagles, and this is something that we're kind of seeing now in midway through the season right now, which it saddens me to know that we're about midway through the season because that means we're halfway done with the greatest game on earth, and that makes me sad. But one thing that we are starting to see is that these teams that are really bad, at least started really bad, like the Giants and the Jaguars and the Eagles, etc. These teams that started really poorly, they're starting to put some things together. Like the Giants, their roster basically has syphilis. Like they're just not healthy at all. Yet the Giants are winning football games.
The brain of the Giants is severely diseased. That's what you're saying.
Very much. It's Al Capone brain right now.
Yeah,
and
I follow you.
They're hallucinating, etc.
Lamar Jackson gets absolutely crushed.
Yeah, demolished by that ferocious Dolphin defense.
I just, before you move on, I just like you've used etc. twice as you've been describing the Giants, and one of them was describing their brain as Al Capone's syphilis brain. Continue. I like it.
You're welcome.
Nothing is off the table, chat. Nothing.
No. So, anyway, but one of the things we are seeing is these teams, these lower echelon, these beta teams, if you will, they are getting better. They're putting things together. And that's what really separates the dog shit teams from like okay, we got something to build around here. And we're seeing that with some of these teams. Some of the ones that we aren't, Texans and Lions pretty much is where I land on those.
Yeah, 1 and 2 in the draft.
Yeah, and the Lions might make fools out of me. I've had the Texans as the number 1 overall pick. I figured the Lions would get like 1 to 3 wins, and I don't know.
Lineup doesn't seem to be. They're so mismatched at every position right now.
They didn't lose this week though.
That's true.
That's right, Detroit. Not this week, damn it.
I know we're talking football, but the Tigers might make the biggest move in the offseason in baseball. They are 110% in on giving Carlos Correa a max contract.
Well,
we're talking like
makes sense.
12
right?
years, $350 million contract for Correa.
It makes sense, right? Hinch is in Detroit now, and got him, he managed him in Houston.
Yeah, so. Imagine the left side of the infield with him and Spencer Torkelson. I mean, there's a lot of upside there, right?
I mean, like if Tork's ready this year.
I think from this season for him in the minor leagues, I think that he is ready to run.
And the thing about, and we'll get back to football, I swear to God, but the thing about Tork is he's not a pitcher, right? And that's the one thing that you don't want to do is bring a pitcher up too early.
Right.
The hitter,
Kill their confidence.
I honestly, there's no downside to bringing a bat up too early. The only thing you're doing is getting them more exposure to major league pitches, which can only improve them.
Right. I think Seattle kind of did that with Jared Kelenic this year. They brought him up, and he played good for a week, and then he went 1 for 57. That was how he ended.
Yeah, that is the downside. It can kill your confidence, and then you don't know what you're doing at the plate.
Exactly. But I think Torkelson's a different bat, and if you are Detroit, who has historically developed great pitching to then be traded or signed by another team for maximum contracts, you create the build around Mize and Torkelson, and then you put as much publicity on those two guys. Those are the guys that are on your posters outside of Comerica, and then Casey Mize is worth. Yeah. Well, yeah. If you get Correa, then I'm buying a Tigers Correa jersey because I think that's the best thing he could do.
I might get a Barnhart.
Yeah, that's right, because he's on the truck now too.
He's wearing number 15.
Yeah, and he will be their starting catcher. He will be their 100%. Everyday catcher.
And honestly, I don't know if we didn't get to talk about it, but best thing the Tigers could do, because what do they have? They have young arms. And what is Tucker? He's a veteran catcher, Gold Glove, two-time, I believe, Gold Glove winning catcher.
Two-time Gold Glove catcher. Yeah.
He's called perfect or no hitters. He knows what he's doing. He is a vacuum behind the plate for poorly placed pitches. Tucker is perfect. He's perfect for Detroit.
Absolutely.
He's done in Cincinnati. He served his purpose in Cincinnati.
Yep.
I loved him, but he is in the perfect position right now in Detroit. So
yeah, absolutely. Cody Bauer coming in with a like. Thank you, sir.
No shit, Cody Bauer. What is up, man?
What's up, Cody?
Number 22, Cody Bauer,
the running back. Where we leave off? Chargers. Okay. Next game on the board was Packers Chiefs. This was an absolute barn burner. Psych.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers not being a part of this game. Wow, what an impact.
Go figure.
Right?
Yeah, honestly.
Brought to you by Captain Obvious over here.
No, but lighten up on Jordan Love, world. Just give the kid a break. He just found out he was starting last week.
He found out on what? Thursday that he was going to start on Sunday?
Yeah, come on. He'd been taking reps with the second team literally all week. You don't really practice on – if you know anything about an NFL schedule, you don't really practice on Thursday or Friday. Thursday you practice, Friday's a walkthrough, Saturday you do film, and then Sunday you play. You don't really practice on Saturday because why? You don't want people to get hurt. So, yeah, I think Jordan looks fine. He literally has the best job on the planet being a backup quarterback right now. So,
absolutely. Jaden, thanks for coming in and liking the video.
Do you think
that
Jordan Love felt like the guy in Blue Mountain State when on that Thursday when he found out that he was going to start, and he was like, "Oh shit!" And meanwhile, Aaron Rodgers is just Thad Castle, just running around trying to give everybody oil changes for everyone because he just doesn't give a shit because that's just how Aaron Rodgers lives his life.
State Farm got him doing that now.
Well, yeah. Once he found out that the Rodgers rate was for everyone.
Aaron Rodgers roadside assistance plan.
State Farm, if you want to sponsor the show, please, you can contact us at RallyStylesSports09@gmail.com.
I'm with Cora. Give the guy a break. Jordan Love was not prepared to play in an NFL game, and he had to play against Pat Mahomes. Like that's a real shitty scenario if you're making your first NFL start.
Hold on. He didn't play against Patrick Mahomes. He played against the Chiefs defense. Well, there is a thing I think we do that a little bit too much as people that talk. Quarterbacks they're not on the field together.
No, I'm saying I'm talking quarterback to quarterback matchup, right? I understand that he's playing against the Chiefs defense, which is bad, right? I'm not saying the Chiefs defense is good, but if you're matching statistic, athlete to athlete, Mahomes and Love, Mahomes is going to win in every single category.
Oh yeah, no question.
Outside of you, right? So when I say that, I mean that
they might be almost the same age actually.
Mahomes is 26, right?
I think Jordan Love was drafted 3 years ago, wasn't he?
Oh shit, he might be. He might be
2 years ago.
Regardless,
I'm looking at
Mahomes beats him in every statistical category, every athletic category. So when I say that kind of matchup, I mean that if both of them were on the field at the same time, playing against the same defense, Mahomes still wins the match. That's what I mean by it.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's not even a question.
Jordan Love is 23. Patrick Mahomes is 26.
Yeah.
So you're 100% accurate.
Yeah, because Jordan Love came out as either a redshirt sophomore or a junior from the Aggies of Utah State.
Utah State, which I believe is Heber City, Utah. Am I correct in that? Let me see. If I get this right, this is bananas.
All right, Cor. Well, before we move on the opening night of college basketball, Gonzaga played Dixie State.
Dixie State.
That's a college that's in Utah. Did you know that?
I would have guessed Mississippi.
That's exactly what we said.
I said
Tuesday.
Texas.
They're in the WAC. That shows you how awful college conferences are right now.
So they're in
I've never
Utah.
Dixie State is in Utah. It is a
Are you
private.
trying to guess the city?
I was just wondering if you lived in. I know you lived in Salt Lake City. I
did live in Salt Lake City.
I just wanted to know if you knew about Dixie State, which answers my question, because when we were talking about it, I said, Bobby, who the fuck is Dixie State? And then Gonzaga beat them by 50 points.
Right.
So.
Oh, Utah State is in Logan, Utah. Where is Dixie State? Hold on. Let me. I'm gonna guess like Ogden, Utah, which is this town just north of Salt Lake.
They just showed Dan Marino throwing a fat lip in, boys.
Yeah,
that's what I just saw.
Oh, it's in St. George. Dixie State is in St. George. So you guys are both golfers. Am I accurate in that assumption?
I am.
All right. So none of us are good, obviously, but because we're doing this and not golfing. But
Correct.
St. George, Utah. So I know I live in Michigan, but this is also applicable to Utah because look at my hand. It's pretty similar to the state of Utah. Okay, I'm going to try and do this in a reverse fashion. Down here in this corner, right? This is where Arizona and Nevada and all that stuff, down here in the southwestern corner is a little town called St. George, Utah. Tons of golf courses riddled with mountains and pine trees and sagebrush. If you are a golfer and you get the opportunity to go to St. George, Utah to play golf, do it. Do it. And you can play golf virtually 11 months out of the year. So I highly recommend if you go to St. George, Utah in the middle of the off season or something like that, you want to swing some clubs, go do it. Absolutely.
And catch a Dixie State Trailblazers basketball game right there.
And you got to go check out Dixie State so you can watch them get fucking waxed by Gonzaga by 50.
They were called the Trailblazers, but their logo is a bison. There were so many red flags there. I didn't like it.
All right.
Interesting.
Moving on.
Yeah.
We had the 8-1 Cardinals on the road in San Fran. Cardinals took care of business, per usual.
The Niners are different.
With no Kyler Murray. They had no Edmonds and Kyler Murray.
No Kyler Murray, but I know AJ Green, right? He was under COVID protocol, right?
Right.
Yeah.
The
49ers are disappointing. They're bad.
Yeah.
On
the other side of that, James Conner was the running back of the week.
Yeah, absolutely. I have Chase Edmonds. Week 2, I traded Mike Williams for Chase Edmonds, so God rest my soul. Mike Williams has more touchdowns than anyone in the league right now, so that's fucking sweet. Yeah.
Well, he had almost half of them in 2 weeks, though, didn't he? He had back-to-back weeks where he went after.
He had like 3 touchdown games, like back-to-back. Yeah.
Yeah,
the guy that I traded that with still texts me at like 4 o'clock in the morning. Hey, I think Mike Williams just scored another touchdown, and that's cool. Shane, if you're watching this, get fucked.
He's every Wednesday at 4 a.m. he texts you and goes, "You hear that waiver wire go through? It's me still owning Mike Williams."
Another touchdown. Yeah. He just sends me voice memos on our iPhone. Actually, he's the only person. He's the only one in our fantasy football league that doesn't have an iPhone. So we have a non-iMessage chat because of one human.
Gross. How dare them?
Yeah, fuck him, right?
Rebel without a cause.
It's supposed to be blue. Yeah, with that green bullshit.
All right.
This is coming from someone that literally just switched to an iPhone less than a year ago.
Attaboy. You did it right.
Well,
But I made the change, right?
yeah, you did. I'm proud of you.
If there's any big moment, just for real quick before we move on, the most wild storm in West Virginia is happening right now. So if there's any large updates in the game, I need you guys to be feeding them to me because DirecTV right now is not going to work.
You got it, Chief.
4.
Next game of the week. I don't know if we call this an upset or not. The Titans went on the road and beat the Rams.
I think that's an upset.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would say.
No Derrick Henry?
LA. Yeah, no Derrick Henry. Going to LA. I think that's definitely an upset. I had the Rams winning this one. I lower on the confidence scale, but I still had the Rams winning. So I would definitely call it an upset. I think it's great for the Titans. I mean, it just shows that they're, they can travel and their offense is still humming. I think it's terrifying if you're Derrick Henry and you're looking for a contract extension in 2 years.
Yeah, you just lost $5 million in that one game.
But Adrian Peterson had a decent game from a fantasy perspective. So.
Yeah, play better than Nick. Is it Nichols or just Nichols?
I think it's Mick Nichols, and even if it's
Nichols.
not, that's what we're calling him from here.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
Mick Nichols if he plays that.
Ooh.
We all three had the Rams. We all three were incorrect. Moving on to the Monday night game, I was sweating so hard.
So I heard you guys talking a little bit about this, the little bit that I was able to catch on Tuesday, but did you go into detail about this game?
Yeah, went into detail a little bit. I will do it again because I don't really think I don't think we had anybody really watching just because of the quality of the feed.
I'm ready.
Tonight's been way better, so knock on wood. I think I got everything on my end taken care of. So not only am I a Steelers fan, but I also had fantasy implications that happened Monday night. Standard League, I'm up 19 points going into Monday night. My opponent has Pat Freiermuth, and I had the Steelers D. So end of the first half, I'm looking great. Bears weren't doing much on offense. Steelers defense was good. Freiermuth had one touchdown at that point in time, so wasn't I was still up like 20 points going into the half. Coming out of the half and into the fourth quarter, I started sweating. Bears started putting points on the board.
21 unanswered.
Freiermuth got another touchdown. So going into the last 5 minutes of the game, I'm up 4 points. And I'm like, it's over. I'm going to lose. Because the defense just kept losing points, and he just kept catching passes. And I ended up winning my fantasy league by 2, and obviously the Steelers won. But I don't know, man.
Do you know though, Bobby? Do you know though?
What I will say is that Ben's been pretty resilient over the last couple weeks, and he actually had a very, very solid game on Monday night.
So I think that's it. So I was transparent. I didn't watch a single snap of the game because I took advantage of Declan being asleep for several hours at a time, and also
you have to
during that time frame. I went and rewatched the majority of that game, and Ben Roethlisberger from week 1, or actually let's just say the week that the Bengals played the Steelers, and that game, that's a completely different human being on the field.
Yeah, he looked good.
He looked
too.
Yeah, and Bobby and I talked about this Tuesday. Freiermuth, a rookie tight end, playing great. I mean, he's playing great this year.
Yeah.
And if you're a Steelers fan, you should be ecstatic about that pick and about him being on the field pretty much 85% of the snaps, because that dude is great blocking tight end, and stick him on his hands.
Yeah,
he catches pretty much everything.
Great hands. Yeah. I mean, you made the comment and talked about I think it was Bruce Arians, what he said. That comparison was Heath Miller, and Heath Miller never dropped passes. Like that dude just never. When he dropped the pass, it was extremely rare. And I see a lot of that in Freiermuth.
When I think about Heath Miller, what I think about now, like in his retirement, I envision him owning a fine woodworking shop. He makes finely handmade canoes and and he takes his kids to school and is frequently mowing his lawn and washing his car. That's when I think of Heath Miller. That's what I think of.
Just your very standard Midwestern dad.
Just a wonder bread motherfucker. That's what I think about when I think about Heath Miller. that's what I think about.
Absolutely. So let's talk about the elephant in the room. Let's talk about the hip check penalty that happened on Monday.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I saw that. That was unbelievable.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that if you work in the front office of the NFL and you watch that scenario go down, and you're not thinking that you need to hire full-time referees to consistently train, develop, and promote this being a full-time career position, if that red flag moment wasn't right then and there, then you missed that's a big part of football that's being missed out on.
Absolutely. That was a terrible call. It was a ref getting an attitude with a player.
Yeah,
so that's not supposed to happen.
So that happens in 6th grade AAU basketball when the opposing team's dad is refereeing, right? Yep. That's not supposed to happen in a professional sporting event.
Or if, like, that's 3 plays earlier, the coach is talking shit to the ref.
Right. That's one of the for the NFL, that's the most embarrassing thing that's happened this year.
Oh, 100%.
I get that guy's been terminated. It's fine. Whatever.
Oh, he has?
Yeah, so he got terminated.
So
this
isn't the first thing that he's been involved in, if I'm not mistaken. He has been on video celebrating with a team while they score a touch. I believe it was the Patriots, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
This guy's just a general scumbag. But it looks like that could have been roughing the passer. That said, anyway, my main issue with the entire thing is he watched him do the act that he flagged him for, right? Which was basically aggressively looking at the bench. Thoughts and prayers to the 30 guys sitting on the Steelers bench. I hope they're okay today. I hope they got through this. And
those daggers of eyes really make an impact.
I hope they woke up and they got through that really tough time. But he watches him do this and then watches him walk back, proceeds to throw his ass into him, then looks at him as he's walking away, throws the flag, and holds his hand in the air like he was fucking Steph Curry dropping one from midcourt.
So when I was watching it, I was watching it with a guy.
Kobe.
To work on
right, exactly. It's exactly like that.
That's what I said. I said, did Steph Curry just hit a 3 there? What happened?
Yes.
What is that? Yeah, so
exactly.
That's ridiculous.
If he was mic'd up and he would have said Kobe as he threw that, I would have lost my mind.
On top of that, so the NFL, if you're on Twitter, there's an account called NFL Officiating. And NFL Officiating, essentially what they do is the following week, if it's a Sunday, maybe on Monday or Tuesday, if it's a Monday night game, maybe on Tuesday or Wednesday, they will come out with any controversial calls. They'll have a guy in a little video box in the corner of the video, walking you through a play, telling you what they saw here, telling you, okay, this was a bad call, this is a good call, trying to offer some transparency. Did the NFL do that here? No, they doubled down on bullshit. They put some guy out there, and what they literally did was they showed the act of taunting and then cut the video.
Yep.
They showed the act of taunting and cut the video. They didn't even show the player. I can't even remember. It's like Post Malone. I think that's his name. He was walking up on the officiant. They didn't even show any of that. They didn't show him throwing the flag. They didn't show any of that. All they showed was the act of quote unquote taunting, and that was it. That's all they showed. And if you're going to elaborate on a controversial call, show the parts that are controversial.
Right.
Because it wasn't the call in general. If he had thrown the flag as he was doing it, I don't think we're having this conversation today. We're having this conversation today because he's, Paul Coffey throwing a hip check into the boards as he's walking past him and then throws the flag. Late 90s Detroit Red Wings hockey reference there for you. But absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
And it changed the game. Believe it,
It 100% did.
It changed the game.
Yeah.
At the
That's
end
a
of the
momentum
day,
shifter.
you shouldn't leave it up to the refs. All three of us were taught that in our times playing sports, not just football, but all sports.
Yeah,
you don't leave it up to the refs. But
right. So
that changed the
there's
game.
there was another scenario, and I don't know if you guys saw this as well, between Justin Fields and the head referee of that game, where Ben Roethlisberger had gotten a roughing the passer call earlier in the game, and Justin Fields gets wrecked. I mean, wrecked after he's thrown the ball, and all he says is, "Hey, can I just get the same calls that Ben gets?" And the head referee looked him in the eye, said nothing, and walked away.
So here's the thing. I agree with Justin Fields from a logos perspective, like a logical perspective. Yes, you should technically get those calls. Let me point something out to you. Justin Fields is a rookie, right? Last year, Joe Burrow was a rookie, and he got in the Eagles game, I think it was like week 3, absolutely demolished. No calls. Do you know what Joe Burrow said after that happened? He didn't say, "Hey, can I get the same calls?" He didn't say that. You know what he said? He got up and said, "When I'm the GOAT, I'm going to get those calls." It's a mindset difference between Justin Fields and Joe Burrow. Those are different mindsets. Those are different individuals. Joe Burrow understands the NFL already.
Yeah.
The second year, he understands the game. This is
he has 200 football IQ. I don't think Justin Fields possesses the 200 football IQ yet, or if he ever will.
Sure, but even in his rookie year, Joe Burrow said that, right? This wasn't Joe Burrow this year saying that. He said that quite honestly during the game. He said that to somebody on the Eagles. Once I'm the GOAT, I'm going to get that call. And so I just pointed that, obviously, yes, from a technical standpoint, Justin Fields should get that.
Yeah, for
Rob,
sure.
If you're watching still, I would love to hear from Rob right now. I would love to hear from Rob right now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. All right, so standings after week 9. Mr. Corey James still in the lead. 91-44 grand total record. I am on his heels in second at 90-45. And Todd lost another game. He is at 88-47.
Oh my god! I can't believe it. I'm still 41 games over 500. How dare I be so talented? Son of a bitch.
You are talented. You are talented. You are talented in the same sense that Tony Romo is talented.
Well, ouch. I don't know.
Great quarterback. Started in the NFL for a decade. I mean, are you going to be pissed about that?
Well, are we talking analyst Tony Romo, or are we talking quarterback Tony Romo?
Won playoff games. I mean, hey, Tony Romo anchored the Super Bowl. You don't just get that, all right? You'd be good to get that.
Fair.
Thank you for comparing me to a hilltopper.
Rob chimed in and said, "I don't want to talk about the refs in that game."
Oh, Rob, if there's any consolation, I know I'm hard on your Bears frequently. I am actually just typically hard on any large market team from a moral standpoint.
Right.
but you got fucked, man. So
I'm a Steelers fan. You guys got screwed.
I don't know what to tell you.
I'm still gonna take the dub, but y'all got screwed.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Steelers? What were they? 5-4 now?
5-3.
5-3. I mean, right there. The AFC North is just a fucking
tight
gauntlet.
Super tight.
Yeah, that's a dogfight week in and week out. It's insane.
Yeah. Who would have thought that this game that we're watching tonight would be 3-3 midway through the second quarter? Not me.
Don't love it. I need a nice, let's see, give me a 35-yard Devonta Freeman screen pass here. That'd be great. This is 2012.
All right, moving into week 10. We've obviously already picked tonight. The first game on the board, we've got the New Orleans Saints on the road in Tennessee. Titans are hot.
I'm scoring. Give me the Titans. The Saints burned me too. Just like they've burned Corey in the past, they burned me last week. I want them.
I got the Titans.
Yeah, I don't think that's a question. The Titans are hot. They're just playing. They're playing good. They're playing good football right now. No Derrick Henry, and they still were able to put up points last week. Yeah, no brainer. Next game on the board could potentially be the biggest upset of the week. We got the Bills on the road in New York versus the Jets.
Biggest upset of the week. So you're taking the Jets.
I said potentially.
So you're potentially taking the Jets, is what I'm hearing.
I heard. Here's what I heard. I heard Bobby ordered a Mike White jersey immediately after the Bengals game, and that on Sunday when he's streaming some solace, you're just going to see him put over top his Hilltopper T-shirt a Mike White jersry. That's what I meant.
I would never wear a New York Jets jersey. Number one, ever. Maybe
Would you wear a Hilltopper
T-shirt? Maybe a Curtis Martin jersy.
Maybe a Le'Veon Bell jersey.
Actually, no, I wouldn't.
You see how hardcore I laughed?
Maybe. I just don't know. I don't know.
Who you guys got?
I got the Bills. I got a potty break. I got the Bills, and that give me 37 seconds, maybe multiplied by 2. I'll be right back.
So, chat, Joe Namath. Rob, I might wear a Joe Namath jersey. It's classic. Todd and I
Joe
were having
Namath,
this debate.
arguably the biggest flirt with Aaron Andrews in the history of, or is that Susie Colbert?
No, it was Aaron Andrews.
That's right. I mean, makes sense.
Right.
One of the women to be a part of these.
Todd and I were having a debate on whether the recliner that Corey is sitting in is blue or brown. What are your thoughts?
What color does it appear?
It looks blue, but I believe it is brown.
This is like the dress that picture is like. What color is the dress? Is it green or pink?
Right.
We already know the actual color of the chair. There's the spoiler.
Cody came in and said purple.
A shade of blue. So I'm in. That's fair though, because your hat is navy blue, and that chair does look more purple. So
no, my hat's black.
It's black. It looks blue. Okay, well,
it's probably because I'm wearing a darker shade of black down here.
I don't know what to believe anymore. Maybe my eyes are just deceiving me now.
Back.
Corey, we need you to answer something for us.
I'm here.
What color is that chair you're sitting on?
It's brown.
It looks blue or purplish.
All right. Well, I wish it was. That'd be sweet if I had it.
There's nothing. To be fair, as a man that purchases vehicles, there is nothing better than when a old Lincoln Town car pulls up and it's navy blue and the interior is also navy blue. That is it's a beautiful thing, especially when the interior is the leather still in good condition. It's really that's a treat for me to see that.
And there you go.
Or like a nice burgundy on burgundy. When that happens, that's also pretty nice.
Oh, that's pimp car right there.
I've just adjusted my video, and now you can see it as nice. Well, it still kind of looks blue, doesn't it?
It does. That doesn't matter. We were just curious.
I'm gonna choose a video.
All right, Todd, who you got? Bills or Jets?
Yeah, give me the Bills. I don't. Black and white. That's a sepia hue right there. You got.
I'm getting fancy over here.
Going through all the color filters today.
Why not?
This is no longer Rally Pal Sports. This is just a fall photo shoot for Corey.
Hello.
You just had your photo shoot.
No, he has it on Sunday.
Oh, it's right. It's on Sunday.
Yeah, it's this Sunday. Come on. Know my schedule better.
It's the bye week.
My sincerest apologies, sir.
Wait, whoa. What was the question? Name it, Broadway Joe.
We were just talking about wearing Jets jerseys.
What Jets jersey Bobby would wear.
Jets
and then I talked about how Joe Namath tried to put the smooth moves on Aaron Andrews, and she's arguably the most beautiful woman to ever call.
Was not Aaron Andrews.
Was it Susie Colbert?
Susie Colbert.
Okay, I was wrong.
That's what I thought.
I was wrong.
I could care less about the team struggling.
Jeez.
Broadway Joe, just shit-faced
just
on
dirty
Monday
old
Night
Joe.
Football.
Good for him.
Just a dirty old man.
All right.
Good for him.
I am also going to take the Bills, but I'm going to say this is a potential upset.
Cool. No points.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're here to hear first.
No points if the Jets win.
Moving on.
Okay.
Moving on.
Yes, Dad.
The Lions head just a little bit east over to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers. I don't think this is a tough one for any of us.
Lions coming off a bye. Watch out.
No.
No, I got the Steelers here. Steelers are playing really good football right now. I got to love them.
Yep, I agree.
I just threw up in my mouth as well.
Oh, goodness gracious. All right. The next game on the board, the Jaguars that just upset the Bills.
Crazy.
Excuse me.
Take on the Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah.
I've got the Colts. I don't think anybody has a response for Jonathan Taylor. So
give me Jonathan Taylor. I would take that guy any week against anybody. I love watching him run the ball.
Give me Carson Wentz.
Yeah, Carson Wentz. Give me Michael Pittman Jr. I threw up in my mouth just saying that about an Ohio State wide receiver. But Michael Pittman Jr. has been arguably the one like the most surprising people of 2021.
You say that like Ohio State wide receivers don't produce.
Well, no, I'm saying that because of my disdain for the Ohio State University.
Okay.
It's not about production.
I was gonna say
I'm aware of what they do. I just don't like. Yeah, I'm aware of what they do. I just don't like giving them credit.
Sure.
Fair enough. All right. Tom Brady and the Bucs, fresh off a bye week, headed to the nation's capital to take on the football team.
Also fresh off a bye week.
Can't
Scary Terry
out. It's a coin toss now.
Scary Terry, Antonio Gibson, 100% healthy going into this week. Doesn't make much of a difference. I just wanted to say it because I have each of them on a fantasy league. Terry McLaurin, another Ohio State wide receiver, produced very well prior to the bye week. Doesn't make a difference against the Buccaneers, though. Tom Brady.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I got the Bucs in this one as well. The weather's getting colder, and as that happens, Tom Brady typically plays better football. So I'm going Bucs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also, Washington's defense, arguably one of the biggest disappointments of the 2021 season.
They've been awful.
Yeah.
I mean, they were touted as being the best defense in the NFL or top 3 defense in the NFL.
Yep.
And I believe they're 29th overall rated right now.
I haven't seen anyone talk about Chase Young at all this year.
He's been shut down. And I think some of that is maybe a little bit of mental immaturity for Chase Young because he's just always been the best. And now he's not getting that publicity. And, I just think that when you have an answer for him, it shuts down their entire defense because they've built that defense around him being able to get to the quarterback, and he hasn't been able to do that.
Absolutely.
One thing we didn't talk about real quick, just going quick back to Saints Titans. One of the things that we didn't talk about is obviously Jameis is out, but we knew that the previous weeks. One of the things getting tossed around was who could fill in that void at quarterback to get the Saints into the postseason. And one of the names that is being tossed around is someone that is currently retired and has 700 children, Mr. Phillip Rivers. He says he's ready to go and that he's good at any time should a team call on him. But
is his high school football season over?
Oh, yeah, high school football's over, man.
No, dude, the playoffs are still going on in most states.
Yeah, but Phillip Rivers is in the playoffs. Phillip Rivers.
They probably lost in the first round.
Did you see that alley-oop I just gave to you? Because that's what I was doing.
And I finished well flush through the rim.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was one of the names getting kicked around is Phillip Rivers. Could he come in under Sean Payton and help that team win? What do you guys think?
Well, I think that the Saints offense is built around the 12 yards and less passing game. So yeah, I think he could actually make an impact. Sean Payton loves the West Coast offense, and Phillip Rivers runs the West Coast offense. Really, arguably, some of the best play calling in the West Coast style offense in the history of football. So
Plus,
that plays absolutely into his strengths.
And I need one more mic'd up Phillip Rivers. I need one more, just one more. Arguably one of the best trash talkers in all of football, without cursing, by the way. Without
no
cursing.
Swearing. Well, yeah, because one of his 13 children are watching the game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
13 to 700, somewhere in that range. That is how many kids he has.
Will Smith doesn't have to cuss in his raps to sell records. Well, I do. So fuck
him
and fuck you too. Oh shit.
That's a good Family Guy reference. Were you referencing Family Guy?
No, that's Eminem.
That's Eminem.
Oh, I thought you were referencing the Family Guy episode where they made fun of Will Smith for not. Okay. God. Never. Well, that's where I was.
That's from the real Slim Shady.
Marshall Mathers LP.
Mary would be upset. I hope she's asleep. I'm gonna get
all of Detroit is upset with you.
I'll go get Mom spaghetti when I'm up there next week.
Good for you.
All right, that might help. All right, next game on the board, we've got the Cleveland Browns on the road in Foxborough. This could be a good game.
This is going to be a good game. I'm very interested to hear where you guys go.
I'm on the fence here, right? You know, because the Browns are hot. They have one of the best running games in football, if not the best. But on the other end of that, you've got Bill Belichick. He's been able to outcoach pretty much everybody in the league. Taking the Browns on the road.
So let me ask you guys this: who do you think the leading receiver is for the Cleveland Browns this year?
The leading receiver.
Couldn't tell you.
Donovan Peoples-Jones.
It is David Njoku. That is their leading receiver.
He's not a receiver.
Tight end.
He's a tight end.
Well, technically, he is their leading receiver. He has the most
receiving yards.
Yeah. My point to that being that Baker Mayfield's three of his four best targets are his tight ends. To which I don't know if New England has an answer to short yard Baker, even to Dearness Johnson. I think that Dearness Johnson, if he plays this week, say Nick Chubb does not pass 2 COVID tests going into Sunday and Johnson gets a start, I think we see another 100-plus yard performance from him. So I'm taking the Browns on the road.
I am giving you guys an opportunity to get back in this because I don't have an explanation as to why. I just feel it that the Patriots are going to win this game.
All right.
I just have a gut feeling. They are like a cancer that just won't go away. And you feel like they're on the down, and then they start putting some stuff together, and they're playing as a team. There's no real star on that team right now. But
not at all.
They're playing good football, and they're winning games.
Yeah, they're plus 500 right now with a rookie quarterback that was very undervalued going into the draft.
Right. So I just feel it, and I'm going with the Pats at home.
All right, fair enough. Next game on the board, we've got the Dirty Birds headed to Dallas. No Ezekiel Elliott, right?
No Zeke, no problem. Cowboys out for revenge. Big win for America's quote unquote America's team.
So as of right now, Amari Cooper and Ezekiel Elliott are both questionable going into that. With that being said, Cowboys are out for blood. You get beat by the Giants. You want to win by 30. So they don't win by 30, but they beat the Falcons. But I think it's a high-scoring game. I think there's a lot of offense in this game.
Yeah. I mean, I don't see the the Falcons secondary having an answer for their passing attack, even minus Amari Cooper.
Here's the thing: Tony Pollard is still a very good NFL running, and clearly can produce without Elliott being on the field. So I don't think it's as much of an issue for Dallas to be able to put some offense together against an abysmal Atlanta defense.
Yep.
But I do look forward to a high scoring game.
Absolutely. Next up, we've got Vikings on the road in San Diego.
Los Angeles.
I just wanted to say San Diego.
Yeah, I feel it.
That's what it is. That's where they're at.
I think Mike Zimmer might be the next coach fired.
I think you're right.
Quite
I
possibly.
actually think if they lose this week, I think he gets fired.
Wow. Okay.
I do.
Yeah.
I've actually been following, for whatever reason, and I don't know if Bobby knows this or not, because maybe he doesn't interact with as many people. There is a huge Vikings following in Columbus. Don't ask me why or how. There is a very large following of Vikings, and I work with one, and he is a diehard. And he shares, now that we do this podcast and we're talking football, we constantly talk about the Vikings. And he has been sharing Roto World articles with me from a beat writer from Minnesota who has just been bashing Zimmer all year. I mean, just talking about how he doesn't prepare well, he hasn't drafted well. There's a myriad of things that this guy is accusing Zimmer of specifically, and not Minnesota's front office, which is also a part of them not maybe necessarily being prepared. But there are a lot of people in Minnesota's front office and on the social media side of Minnesota that do not want Zimmer there anymore. They think that he is a cancer in Minnesota. They think
that's a rough word for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I personally don't feel that way, but that he has been described that way by multiple people. Not very vocal.
Referring to
not
his late
supportive.
wife, but
right. No, I understand where you're going.
Okay, I was making sure you were picking up on it.
Yes.
I think the thing about Zimmer is that he's a dinosaur, and the league is past him. And I think he could probably be a really, really effective defensive coordinator. He could probably be a really good defensive coordinator with a young coach, like, I don't know, Zach Taylor. Oh, fucking crazy. But I think he would. What I kind of look at is like when Wade Phillips was defensive coordinator. I think it was in Los Angeles. I can't remember. There's just been circumstance. Oh, here's a good one. Dick LeBeau. When Dick LeBeau was the defensive coordinator for Mike Tomlin. Was it Mike Tomlin?
Yep.
Yeah. So Dick LeBeau, old salty defensive football mind, young, promising head coach in Mike Tomlin. Those are good combinations between a young head coach and an older, been around the league defensive coordinator. And I think Zimmer would be better suited in that capacity because from an offensive perspective, the league has passed him. And I think that's okay. He got his team to an NFC championship game.
Yep.
That's more than his predecessor, Marvin Lewis, ever did. As a head coach, I'll say that. Marvin Lewis has a Super Bowl ring, but as a head coach, that's more than Marvin ever did. So I think there's something to be said about Zimmer, but I do see the league moving beyond him and Minnesota looking to make a change, not just him, but probably beyond Kirk Cousins here within the next couple of years as well.
Yeah, so that's the big thing, right? Is that I understand Zimmer being the head coach, but when does Minnesota move on from Kirk Cousins?
Sorry, big play for the Dolphins here as they get the ball down to the 14-yard line of the Ravens.
Unreal.
Absolutely.
Isaiah
just wide open. Absolutely wide open. No relation to Tyler there on that one, but great route. Look, they're drawing it up perfectly on the screen. What that safety's supposed to do is they're dropping back into single high. He reads it there. He's just too late. The corner gets sucked underneath, and he's just wide open. And a very, very easy pass by Jacoby Smoked Brissett.
Wow. Unreal. Dolphins are going to be taking a lead going into halftime.
Potentially. You never know. You never know. So did we even make picks on that Vikings game?
No, we haven't yet. We'll wait for Todd to get back. I'm calling the upset here. I'm taking the Vikings over the Chargers. So, Todd, if you missed it, I'm taking the Vikings over the Chargers. Dalvin Cook's going to have a huge day. Calling my shot now.
You're taking the Vikings?
Yep.
Okay. Well, I'm going to take the Chargers. I still feel confident. Chargers. Did we lose Corey?
He is frozen in time.
He is frozen in time.
TBD on Corey's pick for the Vikings Chargers.
Right? We're going to have – oh, yeah, we did. We lost him for a little.
But, no, I think, I think on the same vein where you guys, we're talking about this being a must-win for Mike Zimmer. I think the Vikings team comes and shows up for their coach. I think they're going to stand behind him and give him everything they got and come into LA and take care of business. It's going to be a close game, though.
Going into SoFi and taking a dub from the Chargers, huh? That's what that's your calling your shot. Or no, they don't play in SoFi. Sorry, that's the Rams that do.
Yep.
All right.
All right. Let's see if we've hear from Corey real quick.
So for what it's worth, I'm going to give you Kirk Cousins' stat line, at least a brief synopsis. 206 for 302, 2,140 yards, 16 touchdowns, and 2 picks. 2 interceptions on the year for Kirk Cousins. So not a bad year necessarily. But I think that Kirk Cousins is just kind of the embodiment of not taking a team to the next level, right? That's just what it is.
Kirk Cousins will forever be a great backup quarterback.
He'll just be there.
There he is.
I'm on my cell right now. I'm not entirely sure what happened. All right, I'm back on. All right, I'm jumping off the cell now.
This is the beauty of live podcasting. I love it.
It's amazing.
I would have loved to have seen you podcast from your straightaway and then a little side angle as well, just back and forth. Just calling it live act, just back. Just like you're delivering the morning news, but on a social media platform.
For the people, I'll do anything.
Wow, I cannot believe they did not call pass interference on that. Unreal. Basically tackled in the end zone.
Who you got? Minnesota versus the Chargers. I got the Chargers. It's I can't trust Minnesota right now. They don't have anything really working for him. Justin Jefferson is absent. I don't know where he is this year.
Bobby took the Vikings.
Ooh,
he did. Yeah, so that's his big. I love Bobby's passion for a team camaraderie around their coach. I really like that.
So I'm gonna lose the Pats pick. Bob's gonna lose the Vikings pick, and then Todd's gonna be right back in the mix of it. That's what I'm smelling right now.
I can't take you over if I don't take some risk.
I like it.
True.
All right, next game on the board, we've got the Seattle Seahawks headed to Lambeau Field
with Russell Wilson.
And maybe not Aaron Rodgers. Is Aaron Rodgers playing this week? I haven't heard anything.
So.
Do what?
I don't think he is. I don't think he can.
No.
That's right.
So he's not vaccinated.
He's immunized.
He's immunized but not vaccinated. So therefore he cannot play.
I'm sorry. I love Aaron Rodgers. I love the way he plays and the way he handles his money and his relationship with the Green Bay Packers front office. But you just fucked an entire team over. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So
Oh,
I
yeah,
think-
for
I think
sure.
It's funny.
Like
I think it's funny that you put it that way because I think that there is a responsibility as a professional athlete of that caliber to not dick your team over like that, right? And look, I'm not saying that you have to be. I'm not going to go down a political road, but you don't have to be vaccinated, right? It's your choice if you want to
that's
be or
not
not.
the
but
NFL's rule.
Right. That's what I'm getting to. But if you are going to play in the NFL and you want to win and you want to get that contract, you need to swallow your pride a little bit and do the damn thing so you can win.
Yeah, it's a very
So, I
selfish
think
move.
Yes. Well, that's also his MO. He's kind of a selfish dick.
Yeah.
But he also wins. So Green Bay has just forgiven him for all these years for just being a complete dickhead. And now it's kind of rearing its ugly head. And we're going to see Jordan Love battle Russell Wilson. And I actually think that the Seahawks beat the Packers.
I have the Seahawks as well. I have the Seahawks in this one. I'm not convinced that Jordan Love's ready yet. That said, the Seahawks are an abysmal team.
The Green Bay Packers are nothing without Aaron Rodgers. It's just what it is.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, that chemistry that he has with Devontae, I think that, I mean, you just can't get that over a couple of weeks. So,
Nope.
3 weeks from now, I might be a lot more confident in Jordan Love.
Right.
But
And
I
other
think we're
news,
going to get that opportunity.
just back to some quick baseball here. Nick Castellanos did just win the NL Silver Slugger Award for his position. So that 1 year, $18.4 million contract will likely not bring him back to Cincinnati. But as a Reds fan, we should pay our respects to him for the production that he created for the 2021 season.
Yeah.
I had seen some interesting points about Castellanos and that the Reds are actually smart for not re-signing him.
Okay, let's hear it.
Basically, if you look at his end of the year production, his numbers are massively inflated by the front end of the season. And if you look at the end of his year production, signs would tell you that that was a fluke almost, basically. That was a fluke.
Yeah.
And that if you were to sign him, you're going to overpay. And that for a team that wants to win going forward, it would be a poor decision for the Reds to do so.
So there's two parts to that.
That being said, he is the shit, and he is just an awesome human being.
Yeah.
And he is a great clubhouse guy.
Yeah. I love him as a dad, and I love him as an athlete. There's two parts to that, though. He played with a torn ligament in his wrist for the better part of the second half of the season. He sat out some of the season, or he sat out for basically the 10-day IR, came back, played the rest of the year with this partially torn ligament. Scott Boras has not. So Scott Boras is his agent. I'm sure you guys know Scott Boras is the biggest agent in baseball. He is the one that basically got Bryce Harper his $500 million contract with the Phillies. Scott Boras is 125% in on Castellanos, which tells me that Nick Castellanos is going to a big market franchise, which my guess is the Mets. Yes. Yeah. So the Mets
they're balls deep on Castellanos right now.
Yeah, so they want to give him $125 million. So think about that. So so that is a less than average right fielder that is going to hit probably 270, but he's going to hit 35 home runs. Because you got to remember, they just gave Lindor a shit ton of money too to get him from Cleveland, and then they brought Baez in, which they're also talking about signing Baez, and they also want to sign Marcus Semien. So they're going to have to take one of them.
You know what I'm hearing is just a bunch of overpaid players.
Right. So, but which one are they going to pick? Castellanos is the most affordable of the four, so I think we'll see Castellanos in the uniform next year. That's my guess. But I think
only sign all four of them.
They don't have the money for all four of them.
Well,
they're still tied up.
It's monopoly money.
Right.
It's baseball.
But it's also tied up in they gotta give if they want to keep DeGrom, because this is their year, they have to decide if they're going to keep DeGrom or if they're going to dish him out. This is the benefactor year from Jacob DeGrom's contract. They have to decide on Lindor. They have to decide on Dominic Smith. There's 2 or 3 other guys that are mixed in there that aren't necessarily as large, but play into the bigger contracts. Castellanos is worth right now, according to Scott Boras, a $200 million contract. So that means that he's worth a $125 million contract. And that's how Boras works. He said Bryce Harper was a $750 million athlete. He ended up being a $500 million athlete. So they're going to have to decide who they want, because if the Mets don't sign him, Castellanos is going to end up on the Cardinals, and that's even worse. So just we'll have
Wade
to,
Miley going to the Cubs.
yeah. So we'll put that. Yeah, gross. We can talk about that on the baseball podcast, but because I have very strong feelings about the Wade Miley deal. There's multiple parts to that I would like to discuss with you. Let's see what. So let's move on with football.
All right. We've got the Eagles headed to the Mile High City to take on Teddy Touchdowns Bridgewater.
The Eagles.
The Eagles Broncos. I think this is the biggest coin flip of the week.
I still think the Broncos are fraudulent enemy number 1. Even though they just came out and handed it to the Cowboys, I think that was similar to the Bengals-Browns, a magnification of the game of inches that football, especially NFL football, is. I still don't trust the Broncos. I just don't. I don't trust them. I'm going to go with the Eagles.
Todd G.
So here's the caveat to that. If the Broncos win on Sunday, they sweep the NFC East.
The NFC least.
So think about that. So the last place team in their division in the AFC West could sweep the NFC East.
So last place, but they're 500.
They're a game above 500.
Okay, yeah. So last place.
But
Yeah.
it's right. But I'm just trying to put that in perspective. With
Just
that being
how
said,
bad one division is versus how good another one is.
right? Yeah. So I still think Denver wins. I think you play Jalen Hurts, but I still think Denver wins this game.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards the home team on this one as well. I think Denver. They've played well enough for me to have some faith in them. Against the Eagles defense, which has been spotty. It's either been really good or really bad.
Teddy Touchdown's having not a great year. He's having a nice year as an official starting quarterback that's not with Christian McCaffrey.
Both quarterbacks coming off good games, though.
Yep.
Right.
Both quarterbacks.
Yeah. Look,
Eagles won last week, right?
They did. Yeah. And at the beginning of this podcast, I was singing Jalen Hurts' praises. I just think Bridgewater out of this game.
We will see.
We will see.
I'm giving you guys lots of opportunities to come on up.
Amber and Nick, thanks for liking the video, guys. Appreciate it.
Hey, guys.
Next game, we've got Chiefs on the road in Vegas.
Ooh, I mean, let's get before we get into the pick. Todd, you shared some news with us earlier today.
I did.
You want to go ahead and share that with the viewers?
Sure. So Henry Ruggs' defense in this case.
Obviously referring to the Henry Ruggs vehicular homicide case, where Henry Ruggs was twice over the legal limit for the blood alcohol content and traveling over 120 miles an hour, wrecked into a person. That woman and her pet died in a fiery death in Las Vegas due to his actions.
Right. Yep. So Corvette driving 156 miles an hour. So Henry Ruggs' defense is going to state that the reason that this woman did not survive this crash, and this is, again, so I think something that I learned more after I shared this with you guys is that this is all going to be dependent upon and I hate saying it this way, but they're trying to autopsy what they can from the lady that passed away of this, right? And Ruggs' defense is that the emergency services took too long, and that's why she ended up the car. So they waited. They took too long, so the car got engulfed in flames. Because technically, according to the video footage, the car did not get engulfed until 17 minutes after the accident. And then emergency services showed up 20 minutes after the accident. So if they would have been there 4 minutes prior, maybe she could have lived. So now it is going to force autopsy results to determine if the impact of the crash is what unfortunately ended her life, or if it is her being engulfed in flames. So either way, my opinion, Henry Ruggs, still a piece of shit. Don't have the resources that you have and then get the decision to be behind the steering wheel. Still a piece of shit, erroneous no matter what. But it just kind of goes to show you that you can pay somebody to do anything to be in your corner. And Henry Ruggs is a guy that really, if you look at just the median of life, unlimited resources right now in his life in terms of what he has made as a NFL athlete and what he's able to pay this lawyer to defend him, stating that emergency services caused the end of this woman's life, even though his blood alcohol content was, I believe, 0.21 when he blew, and that was almost an hour after the accident. So potentially higher when he got behind the steering wheel, and then showing little to no remorse since then. So, regardless of the fact, Henry Ruggs, you're a piece of shit. So I'm going to take the Chiefs because I hate Henry Ruggs.
But I mean, why wouldn't he try to help if he had 20 minutes, almost 20 minutes, just sitting there? Like, why wouldn't you try to go help this woman if you were genuine? Like,
him and his girlfriend were too busy crying, and she was too busy yelling at him.
What a terrible human being. Yeah.
I'm gonna actually take a different perspective on this, and I welcome disagreement or spirited debate, whatever. Henry Ruggs made a bad decision. Henry Ruggs made a very, 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 very bad decision. A bad decision that cost someone their life. I'm not concerned about the dog. I'm sorry, pet lovers out there. I love my pets too, but I'm not concerned about the dog losing its life. I'm more concerned about the woman that lost life. So he cost a person their life, and his poor judgment, his decision did that. That's what happened. There's no debate about that. We have all made bad decisions. We have all made decisions that we wish that we could take back. There's no doubt about it. That's human nature. I've been lucky enough to where my poor decisions have not resulted in that. I've driven too fast. I've driven when I shouldn't have after a couple of beverages. I don't think I'm alone in that statement. I'm willing to admit that. Have I done 156 miles an hour? No, I've never done that. I haven't had the means to, but nonetheless, I've never done that. I've never been in that situation. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that Henry Ruggs fucked up major, and he should pay the consequences for what his decisions were. Do I think Henry Ruggs is a piece of shit? I don't know that I do. I don't know that I think Henry Ruggs is a piece of shit. I don't think I know that Henry Ruggs is someone that we should discard as a life forever now. I don't think that Henry Ruggs is someone that doesn't deserve to try and be better going forward. I'm not ready to say that yet because he's 22. Like he's not even really, he can't rent a car. That's how young this person is. And I'm not, again, I want to be very, very clear. I'm not justifying what he did in any extent. I am not saying that he should not pay for what he did at all, because he should. There are consequences to your actions, and you should have to pay for those, especially when your consequences were that someone died, and it is because of what you did. But I'm just saying that from a judgment standpoint, from an outside looking in, I can't sit here and say that Henry Ruggs is a bad person. Did he do something bad? Yes. He did something awful. He did something horrendous, vile. But is he at his core a bad human being? I don't know. I don't know that I'm ready to say that yet. And in terms of a lawyer perspective, you made a comment that Henry Ruggs, money can get you there are defense lawyers for this reason. Even if Henry Ruggs didn't have money, he would have a defense lawyer that would probably argue the same case, because from a law perspective, the what they're doing right now is they are arguing that he didn't kill her, the result of the crash killed her.
Sure.
And that is exactly what he should do from a defense lawyer perspective. If your responsibility to your client is to make sure that they get the minimum sentence possible, that is their responsibility as a defense lawyer, is to protect your client. That's exactly what you should argue. And if there is a shred of doubt, if they can't prove otherwise, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to lay out, you cannot prove that the crash killed her and that the fire didn't. That's what they're doing right now from a defense standpoint. It's exactly what they should do. So
But here's the thing. She wouldn't be dead if this crash didn't happen.
Totally.
So if I'm the prosecuting attorney, that's my defense. She's dead because of the crash, regardless of how long the response was.
So that the defense would welcome that. If you can admit that she didn't die from impact, the defense would welcome that, because it would be a lesser sentence, and that's what they're going after. That's what they're going
after. I hear what you're saying. And look, I think that I don't think a public defender who's doing this for someone who cannot afford an attorney fights as hard.
It's a high-end attorney. Yeah.
Yeah. So I respect where you're coming from, and I hear what you're saying. I just think that.
My point is, Henry Ruggs hasn't, other than this, it's not like he's beaten people or he doesn't have a track record of being a shit person. He fucked up.
Right.
He fucked up.
And he's doing exactly what he should be doing. And someone in this that's implicated as he is, he's radio silent. Because if you go out and you start getting in the public and you start trying to defend yourself, you're even more of a piece of shit.
Exactly.
Right? So
exactly.
I hear exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, you had mentioned that zero remorse. He can't say anything. His lawyers are saying, do not say anything. Don't talk. And that's why he's not coming out and saying sorry, because if he comes out and says sorry, he's admitting guilt. He's fucked.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
Yep, absolutely right.
So that's why you're not hearing from Henry Ruggs right now. I just it is very easy, and again, I don't think that he should get off. I don't think that he should not face any penalty, and I don't think that there should be no consequences to his actions. That's not what I'm trying to say. It's very easy to just sit here and say he's a bad person, and I'm not ready to say that. I don't think he's a bad person, because other than this one instance, which is magnified because it's so horrific, it's so vile, it is such an awful situation. And he did it, right? He did it. I know that. I'm not ready to throw away another human life. One, we've already lost one. I'm not ready to just cast away another one because he had a bad night, and that's what it is. And I'm oversimplifying that. I'm willing to admit that I'm oversimplifying what happened. He made multiple bad decisions, which led him to this situation, right? He drank too much. He decided to get behind the wheel of a car. He decided to drive too fast. He decided not to try and help, et cetera, et cetera. He made bad choices. But this is an isolated incident, at least from my understanding of what Henry Ruggs is as a person, which is limited. So I want to just put that out there. I don't want to be a
Fair enough.
All
right, who you got?
Yeah. So moving on to the game here. Sorry. I got the Chiefs in this game. I got the Chiefs. I think. Yeah, I got the Chiefs.
So for those of you that are watching the Dolphins and Ravens game, Jacoby Brissett in the blue tent right now, favoring that left knee after a sack, and we might see Tua come out here very shortly.
So what was the deal with Tua? Why did Tua not start? They just benched him because?
No, so he got injured last week during the Texans game, and I think that they were trying to basically rest him unless the game were to get out of hand for Miami and they were down by a lot and they needed to make some sort of comeback. But
gotcha.
I think we're going to see Tua come out. I'm not sure who their third string quarterback is at this point. But they immediately panned it to throwing a football right after Jacoby got hurt. So it looks like Tua is going to come out after this Ravens series.
All right. Monday night game. The Los Angeles Rams, with recently acquired Von Miller and OBJ, headed a little bit north to the San Francisco Bay, take on the Niners.
I'm gonna take the Rams, and I'm gonna take a tinkle break, and I want to discuss the OBJ move with the three of us. So you guys make your picks, and then I'll come back. We'll talk about it.
Good deal. So just a quick comment here. Looks Jacoby's trying to move around on the sideline right now. Doing some shadow dropbacks, if you will. What is this play? Oh my God! I don't know what this play was.
What was that?
It was almost like they tried to run a jailbreak screen out to the left. Lamar saw it wasn't there, tried to keep it and pop it out to the outlet on the right side. Fake right. Jailbreak wasn't there right there. Yeah, it looks like
he didn't even turn.
No, it wasn't out to the left. I misspoke, but it wasn't all the way to the left. He looked far out right and then looked kind of inside to that screen there, and it just wasn't there. And by that time, the Dolphins' D-line was all over top of them. We made 0 picks, and they're all over him again. Lamar looking deep, throwing. He's got one-on-one. Oh, nice breakup there. Nice breakup. Who's that? Oh no, okay.
Coleman.
Okay. Anyway, Rams at Niners Monday Night Football. The Niners, like I mentioned earlier in the show, have absolutely disappointed me throughout the season. I'm taking the Rams.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a colder team in football. Niners are awful. So, yeah.
No running game. For what it's worth, you have 2 rookie running backs trying to run the ball in San Fran, and then you have Deebo Samuel. And that's did Kittle come back last week, or is this week his first week back?
I'm not sure.
So I know Kittle was on IR. I think he may have come back last week, but I think regardless, I think we're just seeing kind of some growth woes from Jimmy G. Look, I think, just to be frank with you guys, I think Trey Lance is starting quarterback in San Francisco next year, regardless of the scenario.
Yeah, I think that's always the plan.
Yeah, and I thought that maybe there was a 2-year gap for Jimmy G to kind of get them through, get Trey Lance at least some time to see what I thought was going to be maybe a playoff team in San Francisco this year. I think they have the talent offensively and defensively to be a playoff team.
I had them going deep.
Yeah, and we're just not seeing them kind of shape out that way this year.
I mean, at the end of the year, you looked at their offense. I mean, and you got Mostert, who if he could stay healthy, he could be one of the best backs in the league. No question.
He could. So I think that I don't think he's made it past week. I think it was either like week 10 or week 11 in his entire career. In his 3 or 4 year career, he hasn't made it that far into the season.
Brandon.
Yeah.
Brandon
so now you got So now you got Trey Sermon, Eli Mitchell, Debo Samuel, and that's it. Debo Samuel, I mean, Bobby knows. Bobby owns him in the fantasy league. I mean, he has been electric this year. He's been really the shining light on a very dim San Francisco offense. And I think that we talk about, or at least I talk about this a lot, is you can't have your defense on the field. That San Francisco's defense is good, but they're always on the field because their offense doesn't control the clock. So I think the Rams take full advantage of it. And I mean, I don't know what you guys think. So let's jump into where do you guys stand on the OBJ move, and where do you guys think that he fits into LA's offense for the rest of this season?
Terrible move.
Okay, why?
Yeah, I hear why.
OBJ is a prima donna. He is not as good as everybody makes him out to be, and he is just going to be an absolute distraction. I think the signing of Von Miller was excellent, getting some veteran leadership on the defensive side of the ball. Just adding a problem is what you're doing with OBJ. Quite frankly, I don't think any team should have touched him. But that's not going to happen because that's not the world we live in. But if I'm a GM, I'm not signing OBJ.
So I think that for some of the other teams that were mentioned and being interested in OBJ, I think you're right. But this is Los Angeles. This is the biggest market that you could be in as a professional athlete. This is where you want to be.
New York.
Right. So you're on the West Coast biggest market, right? So this is my guess was that OBJ was either going to sign in Green Bay due to lack of resources for Aaron Rodgers, or he was going to end up in LA or New York somehow, some way, just based on availability of funds, right? Because LA can afford to take on OBJ and take on the rest of that contract. Where does he fit into the offense? Deshaun Jackson is gone. They released him. They cut him. Gone. He's likely not going to come back into the NFL. I think we're seeing the end of Deshaun Jackson's injury-laden career happen. I don't see OBJ in the LA offense more than as a wide receiver 3. That's my opinion. You have Cooper Kupp, who has been the most productive wide receiver in the NFL this year. You have Robert Woods, or as Corey so kindly puts him, as Bobby Trees, who has had 4 of 9 weeks where he has been the leading receiver or leading touchdown receiver for the Rams. And then you also have Darnell Henderson, who's played very, very well. Or Eckler, I'm sorry, right? No, Darnell Henderson.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, so you have Darnell Henderson, who's played very well out of the backfield for this LA team. So I think OBJ just kind of fits in.
Quick note, Jacoby Brissett has been cleared to come in, but Brian Flores, head coach of the Dolphins, has stopped him from returning to the field. Tua is on there leading the Dolphins up 3 with 9:50 to go in the third. Go ahead.
Also just threw to the middle of field to nobody on this last play here. But so my point being is that OBJ, whether he is the showstopper that he can be, that we've seen him be, whether it was in LSU or in the Giants, or even a little blips of that in Cleveland, I don't see him more as that than a wide receiver 3. So where does he fit in? So why go to LA? Well, LA is where the money is. LA also has the best opportunity, in my opinion, to get to the Super Bowl right now. So it's his chance to get back into the Super Bowl. And Matt Stafford will find him somehow, some way.
I would agree with what Bobby said if he had gone to a team with a weaker culture. The Rams are who they are. They know who they are, and they are a very defined team. They have a system. Sean McVay is that system, and Sean McVay is a strong, emphatic leader of that organization. Had they gone to a team such as, the Packers, who their culture is kind of in flux right now, or had he gone to a team like the Saints, who don't necessarily have strong quarterback leadership, I would agree. I would say that is a bad fit. I think this is probably the best fit for OBJ in terms of going to a contender, in terms of really not being the spotlight. Because if you look at his team, he's not the best. He's not even the best receiver. I mean, you got. I would even say that he's number 3 because you have.
That's where I put him at, right?
No. I'm saying he wouldn't even be number 3. You got Cooper Kupp, you've got Bobby Trees, Robert Woods. Then I would argue that you have Tyler Higbee at number 3, and then I would say that you have Van Jefferson at number 4.
Yeah, that's fair.
Van Jefferson has more production this year than OBJ does. OBJ can't stay on the field. So if anything, and here's the benefit. Before leaving the Browns, OBJ signed basically a termination of his contract. He said, "This is the last year of my contract. Nothing prior," which, by the way, the Browns owed him nothing after this year. The Browns literally could have held on to him, let him sit, and then at the end of the year, cut him and owed him nothing. Just made him sit for a year if they wanted to. But they were professional. They decided to cut ties with him, let him go, etc. Anyway, that's the third time I've said fucking etc. I'm sorry. Anyway, the Rams have then picked up his $10 million. It's a 1-year deal. At the end of the year, if they don't get what they want, they can let him ride, let him walk, whatever they want to do.
Etc.
The only thing that they're really doing here is just adding another weapon. And I mean, I think from if I had to guess, before they decided to sign OBJ, he met with Sean McVay. And I don't think Sean McVay is shy. I don't think he would pull punches when having a conversation with a player. And I think Sean McVay would probably be pretty upfront with him. Listen, we have offensive weapons that work for us. We would like to work you into that, but you are not going to be that. You aren't going to be our offense. And honestly, that might be the best thing for OBJ. That might be the best thing for him, is to not be the number 1 option. You know what I'm saying? Because that's all he's ever been. That's all he's ever been, and it hasn't worked. The teams that he's been on, they haven't won. Sure, the Browns won a playoff game, but they're better when he isn't the star, right? Same with the Giants. They weren't that great with OBJ. Sure, they won a playoff game, but they're better when he's not the star. So I'm just saying, I would totally be on what you're saying, Bobby, about he is a cancer. He's a negative, and a negative. Like a black hole in terms of energy inside.
That's a good way of describing OBJ. He is a black hole because the only way that you get out of that is basically to pay him to go away, right? Which is what's happened to him twice now, right? That's 2 times that he's been paid to go away. And,
exactly.
And I think that your point is very valid. That LA is the only, other than New York, where he's already been,
or Tampa,
and he's. Yeah, where they already have enough.
Exactly.
Right. So he's already been in New York. He's already, kind of worn out his welcome on the East Coast. So now he goes to the West Coast and goes to LA. They likely win 13 to 14 games this year. They make it to the playoffs. They probably lose in the championship game. Maybe they make it to the Super Bowl. OBJ gets to go back to the Super Bowl. He makes 1 or 2 big catches. Now he gets another contract with another team, right? That's kind of how I see OBJ's progression in the NFL kind of going. And at some point in time in his career, he is going to have to open his eyes all the way and realize that he is not the elite wide receiver that he believes he is.
Yeah, the big thing here. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
I didn't realize. Sorry, I thought you were done.
I'm never done.
We're never done, Bobby.
That's why I kind of have to cut you off so I can get my 2 cents in.
We're like endless shrimp at Red Lobster.
Oh, don't ever say those words.
I'm Cheddar Bay biscuits, and Corey's just shrimp scampies all over your plate, and we're just always coming out every 5 minutes.
Oh God, nightmares. I actually had a Red Lobster nightmare last night. I haven't had one of those in a couple years, but I still have them occasionally. So
I'm intrigued.
just a server nightmare. This your
We're out of bang bang shrimp.
your classic. Well, now it's like, oh, I haven't worked here in so long. Like, what do I do? Like, but no, worst case scenario. We'll start with best case scenario. By the way,
I'm just gonna say this over the last 3 plays, the Dolphins front seven has been all over the Ravens.
Yeah, they've been getting after it. Best case scenario, OBJ finally has a coach that can control his personality.
I don't think they can then.
He finally this is best case scenario. This is best case scenario. He fits in. He falls in line and does what he is asked to do and does it well. Worst case scenario, which is where I'm leaning, is that he's not going to get the ball as much as he wants. He's going to get upset. He's going to get vocal about it, and it's going to cause problems. And nothing but drama for LA. That's where I sit. Worst case scenario.
Yeah.
So the only thing that I disagree, I feel about this is that, all right, the Giants were a shit team when he was on the Giants, and he was the only thing that was really great about them.
Yeah, no, he was literally the only option there.
And when he came to the Browns weren't where they are now. And so when he came to the Browns, it was, we're getting Super Bowl tickets. It's time to go. Like, the Browns are in it. It's go time. And he was the big talking point. He's not that in LA. He's not. You have an MVP candidate in Matthew Stafford.
And the leading receiver.
You have the leading receiver in the league in Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
You have the best defensive, if not the best football player in the league in Aaron Donald. You just signed Von Miller.
A future Hall of Famer.
Yeah, easily. And now you have Odell. Odell Beckham is not big news. He's not. It's Los Angeles. It's not. He's not big news.
It's Scottie Pippen in Portland, right? I think that's how it's best described.
That's a great way to put it.
Scottie
it's
Pippen
Emmitt
was
Smith
in Chicago.
to Arizona.
Yes, exactly. Right.
Whoop-de-doo.
Pippen's always overshadowed by Jordan, but he's great. And he's great. Everybody talks about how great he is. Now he goes to Portland, and it's just Scottie Pippen now is in Portland. This is the end, right? Maybe it's not the end for OBJ. That's not what I'm implying.
Right, but he's not the biggest fish in the pond right now.
Yeah, he's not the be all end all. There's no Brandon Roy's already in LA. Right?
First of all, he's not even remotely close to the biggest contract on the field.
Right, absolutely.
Not even remotely.
It's fun. Yeah, so I think it's interesting, and I'm with you. I agree with Bobby that I think for basically any other team besides an LA team, it's the worst fit that you can have because
I don't think it would be good for the Chargers. I don't think it would be a good fit for the Chargers. I don't. With a young quarterback, a young coach.
Well, they don't need him.
No.
Yeah.
But a veteran coach that's been to the Super Bowl, a veteran quarterback that's been in the league for a fucking decade. He's got established relationships with his weapons, a solid defense. It's just he's a you've got the sensible Denali, the wife drives the beautiful, BMW to work. Now you've decided that you're going to invest in a 1963 Corvette and bring that into the garage, and you're going to tinker with it every now and again. You don't drive it every day. Fuck no, but you're going to throw it out there on Saturdays when the sun is shining and there's no chance of rain. That is what Odell Beckham is right now for the Rams offense.
I think it's interesting, too, that you said that Van Jefferson likely kind of exceeds him on the depth chart or is the better performer because I think that
homer.
Well, no, but I think it's funny that you say that because I think we've barely seen Van Jefferson's upside, right? We only see him because they already have Higbee and Woods and Cooper Kupp and Darnell Henderson. So Van Jefferson is best available sometimes because he's the only one that's open. right? We haven't even seen him kind of cocoon out yet, right? We've
I
already
think
seen
you see it.
OBJ break out of his shell.
I think you see it at the end of this year, into next year. I am big on Van Jefferson. I've watched him for fucking 4 years. I think he's an amazing receiver. He's very, very good, and I have nothing but the best expectations for Van Jefferson.
Yeah.
He hasn't
Bobby,
lit the world on fire yet, but
right.
I think he's right there.
He's a Gator. That's why he says that.
Oh, I
That's
know.
why
He's a Gator. Yeah, he's a
okay.
Gator.
Yeah.
He's a Gator.
So so I think it's funny because
He made
I
Kyle
think
Trask look good.
which is tough because Trask was
And
not
Luke
great.
Del Rio.
Right. But yeah, I'm with you, man. I think that it just gives LA one more chance to have somebody be open, right? And I think that's really when you get to the game of downs that football is. It's just about having one more person being open. And OBJ has the natural athletic ability to just be open. He can do it. Now that's physically, right? That's not always mentally, right? So. But on a winning team, OBJ wants to be it. Because at the end of the day, you want the ring. Because everybody gets a bonus for getting a ring. That's how that works. Everybody has that in their contract. You get a ring, you get some extra money. So OBJ gets a little extra money, everybody's happy, and then he can go somewhere else when the season's over. Or stay in LA and take a little bit less. But
just enjoy the weather.
He's not – yeah. But he just doesn't, in my opinion, this is just a fit to get a ring. He doesn't fit into their offensive.
Are we planning on talking any of this college football madness that ensued over the weekend?
Yeah.
Bobby, you with us, Bob?
Go for it.
Bobby's like, all right, NFL's done. All right. So, I mean, absolute mayhem ensued over the weekend, just in terms of actually just one game. One game really was the biggest thing that happened over the weekend, and that is the now top 20 team, home of Drew Brees, the Purdue Boilermakers, are in the top 20, routing Michigan State. Kendall Walker III still had a really good game, by the way. I just want to put that out there. He still had a really, really good game. He's still the best running back in the country, if I had to, bet on it. But nonetheless, Michigan State got beat, and they got beat really, really bad. And now Purdue has two really big wins on their resume: Iowa and Michigan State.
Yep. So that gets them into a $750,000 bowl game now, which is a good thing for them. Good thing for them.
Bowl or Outback Bowl or something like that. Yeah,
yep.
They'll play Florida if Florida can manage 6 wins.
They'll get 6 wins. Florida will get 6 wins. Kentucky's got 6 wins. So Florida will get 6.
Real quick sidebar: Florida fired their defensive coordinator and their offensive line coach, which the only reason this is happening is because Dan Mullen is a Florida man. Dan Mullen is a Florida man. He was offensive coordinator under Urban Meyer at Utah and at the University of Florida. He recruited Tim Tebow. He recruited Dak Prescott at Mississippi State. Dan Mullen is getting the benefit of the doubt, is what's happening at the University of Florida. The University of Florida is a football school. Okay? You win championships at Florida, or at least compete for them. That changed ever since Steve Spurrier got there in the mid-90s. Yeah, sure, Florida has only got 3 national championships at football, but since the mid-90s, the University of Florida is a football championship competing school. And if you're not, you win.
Except when Mike Miller was on the basketball team, then they were a national championship basketball team.
That's the guy. That's the guy on the team.
Mike Miller,
yeah. That's the guy. Wasn't Al Horford or Joe Kimnoa, Corey Brewer, Torian Green, Lee Humphrey.
Mike Miller. Nobody was as electric in the SEC from the 3-point line as Mike Miller at that point in time.
Lee Humphrey. Lee
Humphrey was very talented. He was. You're right. So was Al Horford. Al Horford is arguably one of the best freshmen to ever play college basketball. But Mike Miller is my guy from Florida. That's my go-to. I hate Joakim Noah. You're never going to get me on board.
The best player on that team was Joakim Noah. The best player on that team is Joakim Noah.
You're never going to get me on board with him. So
he's the best. He is a 2010s Ben Wallace.
Okay. All right. We can move on.
Anyway, we went off the rails there. Save that one for in the post. What's up, Bob?
It's a little hot up there, Todd.
Hey.
What was he talking about? Oh, Dan Mullen. He's getting the benefit of the doubt right now. That's what's happening. That's why he's firing his two most trusted coordinators since he's been there. And Dan Grantham, and then I don't remember who the offensive line coach is. But if Florida isn't competing with Georgia next year, Dan Mullen could be walking. And guess who could travel on back to Gainesville?
No way. I'm going to go to the bathroom just to think about what you just said, but no way.
I'm just saying. All right, let's say Jacksonville sucks next year. Let's say the Jaguars suck next year. Let's say Urban Meyer gets fired. I'm just saying. If you're the University of Florida, you make that call, don't you?
Yeah, you bring the guy back that got it done for you.
Twice.
Yeah, no, dude's a legend in Florida.
Yeah, absolutely.
He is forever a Gator, even though he coached Ohio State. He will always be a Gator.
Yeah, 100%. And they literally had him back. I think it was like week 4 or 5. Maybe it was homecoming. They had Steve Spurrier and Urban Meyer on the field. Urban's wearing Gator stuff. Like, yeah, he's a Buckeye guy, but at the end of the day, where did he win more national championships? Did he win more national championships at Ohio State, or did he win more at Florida? He won more at Florida. I'm just saying, he's a Gator. Urban Meyer is a Gator too. He's a Buckeye, but he's also a Gator.
Eli, what's up, man? Thanks for liking the video.
If Dan Mullen gets fired,
calling your shot,
and Jacksonville sucks again, I'm not calling my shot. I'm just saying they're making the call. They're making the call.
I'll ask again. Are you calling your shot?
I'm not calling my shot. I'm not saying Urban Meyer is going to coach.
That's a bold prediction. There's actually
crazy.
There's another coach in the SEC that would go to Florida before Urban Meyer does.
Hold on. Lane Kiffin?
No.
Another coach. You're not saying Orgeron.
No.
Thank God. Muschamp's not coming back.
Nope.
So, what's the deal with that Orgeron?
Oh, he's fired.
Well, I know that,
yeah.
But he just won a national championship a couple years ago.
Dude,
Who?
from Kentucky. Dude from Kentucky.
You think he would go to Florida?
I do, absolutely. Yeah.
I would welcome that, actually.
He's a great recruiter. He'd be great for Gainesville. He's been great for Lexington. He'd be great for Gainesville. I'd be very disappointed to lose him as a Kentucky fan, but that's the next logical move for him.
That makes sense. I would be psyched, actually, if that happened.
Yeah.
Because,
yeah.
Anyway, but Orgeron, I have no idea. I think he's opening multiple bubblegum shrimp company restaurants. I don't know what he's doing.
So are you asking why he got fired, Bobby?
No, I mean, I know they had a bad turn since they won the national championship. But I mean, I feel like the turnaround on that was so fast.
It's ridiculous.
Well,
he got fucked, in my opinion. But
yeah, so LSU is built on – so LSU actually has either the first or second highest paying boosters of all colleges in the United States. LSU's losing. Orgeron has a lot of skeletons in his closet in terms of just things that he's done off the field, and it's easier just to cut those ties than it is to allow those things to come to fruition. Orgeron is known for bringing his girlfriends to practices and letting their sons practice with the team.
That's right. We talked about that.
And by girlfriends, he means dancers.
And by players, I mean Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow talking about it and Justin Jefferson talking about it and Terrence Marshall, they're all talking about it like it's funny, but that's actually against NCAA. That's a violation to the NCAA to allow people who aren't a part of your college to come to a practice.
Real quick, I need to interject here on the game. Lamar Jackson is visibly pissed the fuck off on the sideline right now. I don't know. He's tearing into his offensive line, tearing into his team in general. Lamar Jackson showing a lot of emotion that we don't normally see out of him on the sideline, visibly pissed the fuck off. How many times has he been sacked tonight? Because it's been a lot.
Well, the last one wasn't the O-line's fault. He straight up slipped.
Sure, but oh wow, did we get a double pass here?
Yes.
How did that work? Was it a flea flicker?
Yeah, that was interesting.
Let me see this. They're giving her a replay here. Hands the ball off. Yeah, flicks it back, and then it's a screen right back to the same guy, Myles Gaskin. Right back to him in open space.
What an interesting play.
Yeah, but as you're seeing here, as is tradition in Miami, the field is absolute dog shit. Look at this field. It's awful. You live in a subtropical climate, and you can't grow grass. You can't grow grass. Look at the middle of the field. It looks like they're in Heinz Field. Look at the middle of it. It's dirt. No excuse. No excuse. It's ridiculous.
Marino's spending too much money on dips and not enough on the field. That's what
MVP of the game is the landscaping crew for the Dolphins.
Yeah. Public enemy number one. Fraudulent enemy number one. Landscaping. They're not landscape. Fraudulent enemy number one for week 10 of the NFL is the Miami Dolphins landscaping crew. They're not landscaping. They're drinking hurricanes and doing cocaine. That's what they're doing in Miami right
wow.
now.
This isn't the U. This is the Dolphins.
Yes, same thing.
Oh man! If you guys have never seen It's All About the U, the 30 for 30,
Great film.
Please go watch it. It is exceptional.
Honestly, you could just put on any 30 for 30 and be very well entertained for an hour.
True. There's actually
it doesn't matter which 30 for 30 you're going to put on. They're just all good.
There's an E60 about Barry Bonds that just came out that I haven't watched yet.
Deep, he's got him. Oh, what a catch!
Is that Jalen Waddle?
What a catch! Is he number 17?
Yeah, that's Waddle.
He's
come on strong in the last couple of weeks, man.
Whoever put money on the Dolphins tonight, good for you.
This is what I want you to do. I want you to, and Bobby, I don't know if we have the old podcasts up on the Rally Top page yet or not. But you can go to the Line to Game page and you can go back and you can go to my wide receiver breakdown page. And if you go back and you look at what I've talked about on Jalen Waddle, the one thing that I talk about most is his speed. He is disgustingly fast off. He is explosive. That second level that he just kicks to. And you just saw it on this replay here. His ability to use that speed and get leverage on the defender to open up the route for his quarterback, that makes it even that much better.
You also said that he would have won the Heisman if he would have been healthy.
I did say that, and he would. He would have won the Heisman. Actually, no, that's not what I said. I said Devontae Smith wouldn't have won the Heisman.
Oh, yeah, you're right. That's what you said. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but still, I say this to this day. I had Jamar Chase number 1, Jalen Waddle number 2, Rashad Bateman number 3, Devonta Smith number 4. Those are my top 4 wide receivers coming out of this draft class. So far, other than Rashad Bateman being hurt, I feel pretty good about those rankings so far. So maybe I'm better at wide receivers than I am quarterbacks. Who knows? Nice catch, Rob. Cool. Yeah, it was a fantastic catch, Rob. You're 1,000,000% right. Jalen Waddle is disgusting.
The good news is now you're going to have 2 more people that we can discuss top picks going into a draft class.
Oh, you know what's great is that it is week 10 and we're not worried about the draft.
No, we're not.
Any of us. Isn't that fantastic?
Well, it's also because we're talking about an EJ Manuel-esque draft class going into this one.
That's not the case. I'm pretty close to the ground. My ear's pretty close to the ground for the Lions, and they are talking draft, and they are talking draft hard. And Mr. Thibodeau, defensive end out of Oregon, is all the rave right now. So there is draft talk.
That's fair.
There is draft talk happening. It's just not in Cincinnati. It's not in Pittsburgh.
Right, which is good. Which is good for us.
It is good for us. And it's we will get into draft talk. We're going to try and avoid it as much as possible as the season progresses. But do we want to talk about these college football rankings that have recently come out?
Yeah, absolutely. I would like to talk about them.
Let's see what you got to say, Todd.
So we get to see now Ohio State crack the top 4, right?
Yes. You're accurate.
Oregon moves to 3. 1 and 2 stay the same.
So, yeah, Michigan State losing has dropped them out of the top 6.
Right.
They're down to 7, right behind Michigan at number 6.
Yep. So UC still on the outside looking in at 5. And then the Wolverines at 6. With still an opportunity to shake things up going into in 2 weeks, right? In 2 weeks, we can see a shakeup.
Honestly, here's the thing: you could see a shakeup in 3 weeks because you've got Michigan State plays Maryland this week, followed by Ohio State, followed by Penn State. I believe that's their remaining games. I'm not mistaken. That's how they finished the season. I'm going to pull it up. You can bear with me here as I do such. I'm going to pull up Michigan State's games right now. So, yeah, Maryland, Ohio State, Penn State. That's how Michigan State finishes this season. Guess what? Michigan State wins out. They go to the Big Ten championship game. Even after losing to Purdue, Michigan State goes to the Big Ten championship game. Ohio State wins out, then Ohio State goes. Michigan wins out. That doesn't mean that Michigan goes. Michigan does not control their own destiny. Michigan State and Ohio State control their own destiny in the Big Ten East, which, if we're being honest, is the only division of the Big Ten that really matters. It's the only one that has mattered since they divided the conference. What a loaded division, right?
Right. So you could have 3, sometimes 4 teams in that division that could be top 15.
Michigan State, Ohio State, Penn State, Michigan. I don't know if there's any other big hitters out of the East. Nonetheless, still.
That's all. That's the Big Ten. That's your money right there.
Yeah, those are the top 4 schools out of the Big Ten, right?
Right. And then you have Iowa in the West.
That's got to be offensive pass interference. That has to be offensive pass interference on Jalen Waddle. If they call this defensive pass interference, we riot. You understand? We riot.
Tri-City riot.
Okay, he's got his arms around it, but look. Jalen holds his hand right there. Look, arms around him. Yeah, they both have their arms around each other. Oh, this cannot be defensive pass interference.
That's what they call it, buddy.
That is ridiculous. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I think it's a no call.
Yeah, I agree. I think they're all over each other. Wow. Big stand there by the Ravens.
So back to the college football playoffs.
Yeah.
So we still have Oklahoma on the outside looking in at 8. Undefeated Oklahoma at 8. Because now Baylor's lost.
See, and here's the thing. Is the Big Ten good?
The Big Ten is better than the Big 12.
How do you know? Who have the Big Ten beaten outside of the Big Ten?
Well, no
one.
I say that, no, you're right. But when I say that, I mean that the Big Ten by rankings is better than the Big 12.
Right, which is rankings is bullshit. It's all bias, right?
Well, that's right, but we live in a whole world, and if you're talking college football, the college football world is a whole world.
I'm talking more from a macro perspective. Who's to say that the Big Ten is even good? We don't have any. All we're basing it off of is that the Big Ten has beaten other Big Ten schools that are
Right.
Well, they're ranked, so they must be good. Penn State lost to Iowa. Iowa lost to Purdue. Michigan State beat Michigan. Purdue beat Michigan State.
Yep.
Ohio State lost to Oregon. Michigan beat Wisconsin. All we're really seeing is Big Tens beat up on each other. Big Ten teams beat
Right.
up on each other. We're
Right.
not seeing one Big Ten team run through everyone. Even Ohio State, who is apparently a top 4 team in the country, they barely got out of Lincoln, Nebraska with a W last week.
They did.
They barely
You're right.
beat Nebraska. And guess what, folks? Nebraska sucks. They're not a good football team. Michigan State had a hard time with them. Michigan had a hard time with them. I am almost convinced that the Big Ten is just severely overrated. I'm almost convinced of that.
It's funny that you say that, because if you ask somebody that's an Ohio State fan or maybe a Michigan fan, they would say that Nebraska is actually better than what the record tells you.
Of course.
Right. So that's the conversation that I had this week, right, with somebody talking about Ohio State football.
Oh, they're going to get him again. They're doing it again. They refuse to let Baltimore win this football game, which, as a Bengals fan, I mean, great.
Well, yeah, it's good. But, yeah, so if you talk to a Big Ten football fan, they would tell you that Nebraska is better than what the record says. No, they called a hold on for a second. They called a personal foul face mask. Dude,
On the defense.
So we're going 3rd and goal again.
Oh, on the offense. Wow.
Offsetting.
Oh, no, offsetting. Wow.
Yeah, offset penalties. Yeah, so we're doing 3rd and goal again, boys.
Rob coming in with a couple of comments. I think you and Bob are watching the same delayed pirated stream. LOL. By the way, it's live on Twitch again, and the Twitch stream is way ahead of my live cable feed. Damn Twitch.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Rob, we know you're not necessarily here for the game commentary. You're just here for our sultry voices. It's fine.
Offensive lineman, take. Ooh!
I can't wait to watch.
What a move from the big man!
Go, big fella!
That's a touchdown.
No way. Yeah, it might be. It might be, actually. That ball might have come down on that line.
Boys, that ball crosses the end zone.
He's hurt. Oh, no, he's not. Look at big man getting it. Get up, big fella.
What an athletic
That's
play.
a touchdown. That is a touchdown.
You got 11 offensive linemen getting in the end zone, boys.
Did you see that first cut he made? That's a touchdown, boys.
That's a tutty. That's a tutty for the big fella. That's a tutty for the tubby.
That's number 1 on SportsCenter Top 10 tomorrow. No
They
doubt.
called it short. He got across the line, Rob. 100% he got across the line.
But was he eligible?
Of course he was.
Look at that. Look at that move. Shaking a tackler.
Ooh.
He's in. He's in.
Nope.
Oh, he's ineligible.
Ineligible pass, boys.
You
We
know
got to
what's
do 3rd
funny?
down. Oh, we got to do it one
funny?
more time again.
You know what's funny is as you were saying that, as he was throwing the ball, I'm like, oh, there's Myles Gaskins just sitting right there too. Watch
That
the
big
running
man
back.
saw the
Watch the
ball
running back
just
on the
as
street.
Jones
Here he is right
said, didn't
here. Yep, there's the running back. The running back's supposed to get it, but he gets held up. And the big fella just sees the ball. He's like, I'm taking it. Give me the ball.
What a
I
fucking
love
play,
it.
though.
Oh.
The play that never was.
He had a great time.
Yeah, regardless of
Look
the
at him
outcome of this
cheesing. He's
game,
on the
that dude's
camera
life
like,
is made. Like, he shook, dude, he made that cut and he made that defender look bad.
They're drawing that up next week.
Oh, 100%.
All right. So anyway, back to the point about college football. As we look at this third and goal from the fucking 90-yard line, from the 12.
No touchdown.
Sorry.
No touchdown.
The point I'm trying to make here is that I'm not convinced that the Big Ten is good because they're ranked high. There's been no real Big Ten school that has gone out and beaten someone of another conference this season. I just haven't seen it. The only real opportunity was Ohio State versus Oregon. Oregon won that matchup in Columbus. I give the nod to Oregon over Ohio State. So under what basis is Ohio State ranked 4? I don't understand that. Other than the fact that they're Ohio State, what basis are we putting them at 4? I don't get it. It doesn't make any freaking sense to me.
The world that we live in, man. It's the world of college football that we live in.
It's ridiculous. It's absolutely asinine.
You got to be a Power 5 school and then if your conference has multiple people that are ranked, then you are the perennial conference. So this year it's the Big Ten, right?
Yeah.
Big Ten has all these teams that roll through to the top 5.
So we've often gone through these rankings.
Looks like we're having some technical difficulties down in good old Fairfield, Ohio, or wherever Miss Mama James lives. I would imagine he'll be back here shortly to finish that thought.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the technical difficulty time as a bathroom break real quick.
You have the smallest bladder in the history of time. So for those of you that don't know, whenever Todd starts drinking, Todd has the ability to go to the bathroom 6 times in an hour, about once every 10 minutes or so. So, no, Corey has some technical difficulties. He'll be back here in just a second. So we're watching this game unfold. We just saw an absolute amazing play that just is never going to count because the O-lineman was ineligible.
I will not be deterred. I will not be deterred. And my Zoom's coming back too. As I'm doing this, my Zoom is literally trying to reconnect, but I'm here. You can't get rid of me. I'm back, baby.
Hells yeah.
Anyway, where'd you lose me?
You were just getting ready to begin your thought on whatever it was you were talking about.
That's not very descriptive.
I don't remember. You were like, Todd had said something, and then you were talking. Like, as soon as you started to talk and respond to him, that's when you went out.
Okay. So, on Line to Gain, we're for the little guy, right? We don't really focus on the big market teams. At least we try not to. But let's just take a look at let's take a look at the top 10 college football programs. Georgia, Alabama, Oregon, Ohio State, Michigan, Michigan State, Oklahoma, Notre Dame, Oklahoma State. Hell, let's even continue down throughout the top 25. Texas A&M, Wake Forest, Baylor. You could even argue BYU, thanks to the cult that is Joseph Smith. Ole Miss, NC State, Auburn, massive programs. Todd, enjoy that one. Massive programs.
You said BYU, thank you to Joseph Smith. Is that what I heard you just say?
The cult that is Joseph Smith. That's what I said.
Okay. All right.
Massive programs throughout history. It looks like I might have access back on my computer. These massive programs, and then you got the little guy, right? you've got Cincinnati sitting there at number 5. So we try and often over the last few weeks, and it looks like I'm going to get my Zoom back on my laptop here. So I apologize for the in and out nature of my my connectivity this evening. And I'm back.
Now I'm back. I'm back.
Look at that dual view.
I actually love the side by side view there.
Anyway, so over the last few weeks we've viewed this through the lens of the Bearcats, and how can they possibly make it in? So we're going to take a look at that again tonight. And looking at the top 10, the best case scenario, it still remains Georgia wins out, right? Alabama and Georgia will inevitably face each other in the SEC championship game, and Georgia beats Alabama, giving them 2 losses. The only thing that this is doing, the committee is positioning them at 2 for a reason here, in that if Alabama were to beat Georgia in the SEC championship game, Georgia would still get in the playoff.
Right, they just flip-flop. 1 and 2 changes.
Exactly. So if that were to happen, is the committee's wet dream. 2 SEC schools are in again. Their favorite thing. Because there is one thing you cannot argue, is that the SEC fans tune in and to turn up for college football. They're going to watch. They're going to buy tickets. They're going to buy merchandise, etc. For the 5th time tonight. It is their cult. Oregon does not have much of a test left on the record. In fact, they've only faced 1 ranked team this entire season. That's Ohio State. They have 3 games remaining. They host Washington State, unranked. They travel to Salt Lake City to take on the University of Utah, who is in fact ranked at 24. Hard place to win. And then they go and face the Civil War and play Oregon State. Who got the ball?
Oh, shit. Miami scores a touchdown here. Miami scores a touchdown on a fumble recovery.
Wow. So glad I didn't take the Ravens as a survivor. Wow.
Davian Howard.
Bengals, Ravens, Browns fans, Bengals, Steelers, Browns fans rejoice.
Holy shit.
Yeah, this is awesome. I couldn't be
What a
happier.
great Thursday night football game. I mean, look, from a touchdown side, it's not great. It's not an aesthetically pleasing game.
I don't know if they're gonna call that a catch.
He makes a football move though.
He got 2 feet down.
Yeah, you're good. All
One,
right.
I think that's
2,
the catch.
3. Yeah, he had
1, 2. Ball starts coming out. If you watch it in real time, it's tough.
It looks suspect. You're right.
Anyway,
Meanwhile, Xavier Howard on the sidelines looking like a superhero. Timmy
He's
Watkins
feeling really good.
bench.
So Oregon doesn't really have much left on the docket in terms of a test. I would expect Oregon to win out. Oregon wins out, they're in. Okay, sitting at number 3 right now, you're not going to punish them for winning. So if Oregon wins out, they win the Pac-12, Oregon's in. So assuming, if you're UC, you need Georgia to win out. Georgia gets in. Alabama's out with 2 losses. Oregon is in. Let's say Ohio State runs a table and they get in. You would assume that UC would be number 4. So
Right.
there is now that Michigan State has lost, Ohio State controls their own destiny. You would bet on Ohio State winning out. You would bet on them beating Let's see, who does Ohio State match up against?
Oof.
This week they have Purdue. Ooh, that is actually a very interesting matchup. Purdue sitting at number 19 right now. This game is in Columbus. Then the Buckeyes play host to the Spartans, and then travel to Ann Arbor to take on Michigan. So
These last 3 weeks for Ohio State are not. It's not conducive to them being easy dubs, right? And I think it's funny because a lot of people would discredit Michigan State now for losing to Purdue, but Ohio State have to win 4 more games to get into the playoffs, right? Because if Michigan wins out, then they get into the playoffs.
Yep.
Because they got to put a Big Ten school in the college football.
Actually,
playoffs.
that's not true. That's not true. If Michigan wins out, they do not get in.
Well, there's 6 right now, right?
Yeah, but what if Michigan State wins out? Michigan won't even go to the Big Ten championship game.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right, they would.
So Michigan does not control their own destiny. The only 2 teams that control their own destiny in the Big Ten East are Ohio State and Michigan State. Those are the only 2 teams.
You're right.
So
all Michigan does is bust bracket, basically.
Or hopes Ohio State beats Michigan State the week before they play Michigan.
Right.
And then Michigan would need to beat Ohio State. If that were to happen, Michigan would represent the Big Ten East in Indianapolis with a chance to get into the playoff.
Right.
Which, with only 1 loss, being to Michigan State, you would argue they should. Either way, there is a viable path for the Bearcats to get into the playoff. And that basically resides on Georgia going undefeated and beating Alabama in the SEC championship game. Bama having 2 losses. You would then have number 1, Georgia, number 2, Oregon, number 3,
Big Ten,
and then number 4, Bearcats. What I would love to see is Ohio State go undefeated. I would love to see Oregon slip up. I would love to see the Bearcats go undefeated. You'd have number 1, Georgia. You'd have number 2, Ohio State. Number 3, Cincinnati. Number 4, Oklahoma. You'd get a Bearcats, Ohio State, round 1 of the playoff. That would be awesome.
That'd be great for Ohio. Honestly, that would be great for Ohio. And it would be – I think that game would surprisingly be a lot better than what most people would interpret that game, right? Because people have seen Ohio State and UC play in the past, and it's always just an atomic blow between the 2 of them.
About 10 years ago, it was a good game.
Yeah, that was 2009. The last time it was a good game.
When the Bearcats got screwed.
Yeah. So the year we graduated high school, think about that, was the last time that it was a good game, and it was all based on 1 call.
Yep.
And then last year they got to never 40. Was. Yeah. So I think it would be an interesting game, and I think a lot of Ohio State could be surprised at what Cincinnati does against them in the college football playoffs. I think people discredit Cincinnati defense a lot. Have 3 guys that could be first-round picks going into the 2022 draft.
What a crazy game that would be in this potential, hypothetical scenario.
Right. There has to be there's a myriad of things that have to align for that to happen, but with the way college football has gone this year, it's really not out of the realm of possibility. I mean, there's been upset after upset after upset. It's all related to the transfer portal and all these guys going to smaller schools and smaller schools getting better, and in addition to that, smaller schools recruiting better to their underclassmen and then developing those guys. And a team like UC, for instance, that's all juniors basically, and some seniors being very successful because of the relationships that the head coach has built within the college. So
right,
it's very interesting to see how the transfer portal has impacted college football, and then how a coach like Luke Fickell, who builds the camaraderie of a team of basically 1 full class of the the class of 2022, taking your organization or your college to the next level. That's how they get to the playoff here. And UC also has, after, this is Ritter's last year with UC. They have another young quarterback in Evan Prater, a Cincinnati guy from Wyoming High School that does the same exact style of offense that Desmond Ritter runs. He's a run first,
So
heavy.
not only that, to add on to that, the Bearcats just got. Sorry, I was going to say, the Bearcats just got, I think it was a couple of days ago, Luther Rickison. I'm not sure how to say his name. Either way, number 35 overall prospect, quarterback commit to the University of Cincinnati out of Louisiana. Yep. I think is where this kid is coming from. He is 6'3", 204 pounds. Has completed nearly 83% of his passes, 2,400 yards, 34 touchdowns, 1 interception, 10-1 record to date. He's the number 35 overall prospect at 24/7 Sports. And he's one of the best quarterback prospects in football, in high school football right now, and he's going to UC.
Right. Well, benefit of being in the Big 12, right? You get now you're going to start seeing some top 100s getting in, and I think we, one of a follower of ours posted a picture of him at the UC basketball meeting, and UC getting a top 100 recruit in college basketball for the first time ever. By the way, that is the first time in the history of the University.
Lance Stevenson?
No, he was not a top 100.
He was Mr. Basketball New York.
He was. You're right, but he's also not a top 100.
Interesting. Normally, you would think Mr. Basketball New York would probably be a top 100 recruit.
No. So the state of New York is not known for high school basketball, believe it or not. And there's too many parameters in high school basketball. There's too many prep schools in high school basketball for New York to be a basketball state. In fact, Ohio is actually a better high school basketball state than New York, which seems crazy.
Insane, actually.
Yeah, but that's kind of how it works. Lance Stevenson being a Rucker Park legend before he even stepped foot at the Shoemaker in Clifton. But it's, so I think we're going to see a lot.
G League All-Star right now. He's on the Grand Rapids Gold, if I do.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Still reminiscing on that moment where Bobby and I were actually in Indianapolis when Lance Stevenson blew ever so gently in LeBron's ear.
I love Lance Stevenson.
Ended up beating the Cavs that night.
Is the Heat?
No, well, so when we
Wasn't
were
that the Heat?
No, it was not the Heat. It was when he was on the Cavs. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, so I think this is really the beginning of a long-term succession for the University of Cincinnati. Now they're in the Big 12, so now 3 stars and 4 stars, and I think we could even see a 5-star at Cincinnati in the next 3 to 5 years, right? Yeah. And even I think the thing that makes it even more unique is, for all of us being from Cincinnati and knowing the high school football presence that is in Cincinnati, and 5-star athletes coming out of Cincinnati and from those Catholic high schools and the bigger public high schools. Those guys are going to start going to UC now instead of Ohio State, instead of Michigan, instead of maybe even SEC schools because of UC
Indiana
being Big 12.
or you know what I mean?
Yeah. So it's a good time to be a Bearcat fan, an even better time to just love football and just follow football. That's my favorite thing about it.
There's a lot of exciting stuff happening in college football right now, and the biggest thing, as I crack number 5 here, the most exciting thing for me is the volatility that is happening in college football. We're getting more parity, right? That is the best part about the NFL, is that the NFL is engineered in a way that you can suck one year And then you're going to be good within the next 3 to 5 years. You will be. If you have a competent front office, head coach, and scheme, you will be good. You will be. It's just the way it's built. 1, you are engineered to have higher draft picks. 2, you are engineered by the way the schedules are put together to face lesser competition if you are a lesser team. That's just the way it works. You're going to play lower teams based on how the other divisions fared as well. You will play your counterpart within other divisions.
Yeah.
Just the way it works.
Liz, thank you for liking the video. Hello to you as well. Rob coming in with a comment. What are we sipping tonight, Corey?
Oh. Also, Bruce with a comment real quick. Bobby's got to poop. Is that true?
I laughed at that comment like a couple minutes ago when you guys were rolling. I didn't want to say anything. And it is not true. I do not have to. Maybe a little bit.
And he says he knows better than to ask what Todd, what Vizzy he is drinking. Rob, tonight I am drinking a fine lager, swift in body and mind. The cheetah sprints ever forward, a blur of pure instinct. Buena oda, pure, crisp, clean, blissful simplicity. Savor this moment. All we have and all we need is now. Feel free, and therefore you are free.
Cheetah.
By Rheingeist. Rheingeist, if you're watching tonight, please feel free to sponsor Tell Sports. We'd love to have you. Rheingeist is a local Cincinnati brew. They distribute around the Midwest. Not in Michigan, though, Rheingeist. Get your shit together.
You want to know a fun fact about a cheetah?
I would love to know a fun fact about a cheetah.
They can only run at their max speed for 17 seconds.
I would, yeah, that sounds about right. I knew
I love that fact.
But I appreciate
it. Because if they do it any longer than 17 seconds, then they will overheat and actually die. So the gazelle has exactly 18 seconds to elude the cheetah. It's on a timer.
Or they will die.
Or they will die. It's like the opposite of a rodeo.
And what we're seeing right now, if you just saw this, it's like the opposite of a rodeo. That's fantastic.
Oh my god!
You know how earlier we mentioned about magnification of like things going one way or the other, like teams taking advantage of situations or not taking advantage of situations. We talked about it with the Bengals. We're seeing that right now in this game. The Dolphins just fumbled the ball in their own backfield. 2 to 3 Ravens players touched said ball, and a lineman stumbled his fat ass on top of it to recover it for the Dolphins.
Unreal.
And they kept possession. And now let's see what they do. Damn near convert on a 3rd and 8. They don't. They damn near do. And the clock keeps moving.
Yeah, Liz, I will let you guys know. I'm probably going to hang it up after this. I'm kind of tired. But Rob coming in with a comment. Remember when Devin Hester raced the cheetah? I think it was Hester.
Was it Devin? It sounds like something he would do because Devin
Chad
Hester
Johnson raced a horse, didn't he?
He did. Chad Johnson did race a horse, and he beat him. He's faster than a horse.
So how much horsepower does Chad Johnson have?
At least 1. He has a horsepower, at least.
Well, if you beat him, he's got to have more than 1.
Yeah, he's got at least 1.1 horsepower. Just by math. If you're doing math, it has to add up that way. Are we pushing through to the end of this game tonight, Bob? Are you able to do that?
I'll do anything for you two beautiful gentlemen.
Wow. Anything. I'll pocket that. I'll rain check that and cash that in at some point, I'm sure.
Sounds like a winner.
This weekend, though, in college football, we do have Oklahoma-Baylor. Baylor lost this week, right?
They did.
So it kind of takes some vigor out of this game. It's not as,
Rob coming back in to
hitting the
confirm
ball
that.
on the 1 yard line.
I mean, look at this asset that they have. They clearly needed to draft this guy.
4th round, 2nd round. Right? Bobby said day 2.
Top 30. Top 30.
Devin Hester and Chris Johnson raced a cheetah. Is that what I'm hearing?
I would take Chris Johnson over Devin Hester in terms of speed.
Oh, 100%.
Devin Hester. Really? What about Dante Hall? Did Dante Hall race the cheetah?
No. Chris Johnson has the 2nd fastest 40 time of all time. Second only to Mr. John Ross.
Oh, yeah. Didn't John Ross run like a 4.1 something? Isn't that him?
4.2 flat.
4.2 flat. That's right. Had a Husky himself. Right? He came out of Washington, didn't he?
Yep. John Ross out of Washington. YouTube it.
Yeah.
Google it.
I believe you. I just think it's crazy that somebody can run 40.
Who won?
40 yards in 4.2 seconds.
The Ravens, the ball on their own 1 yard line, and Lamar Jackson throws it to 0 people.
With a delayed game call on top of it.
Perfect.
Just a nice maraschino on top of that.
Choice. Oh,
Chris Johnson ran the 2nd fastest 40 of all time.
I'm pretty sure, yeah. I'm fairly certain. Let's take a gander.
Yeah, well, the cheetahs can run up to, what is it, like 60, 70 miles an hour? I'd hope the cheetah won.
All right, here's a fun little list. I've Googled it. I would prefer that you didn't. I want to hear what you think the fastest 40-yard dash times of all time are.
Darius Hayward-Bay, 4.24.
Did you just look this up, Bobby?
No. I just remember it.
So Darius Hayward-Bay. These are NFL Combine times. What did you say you ran?
4.24.
He's not even in the top 11.
Really? What did he run?
He's not in the top 11. I don't know.
Oh. Oh, he just had the fastest 40 time that year that he got drafted. Because that was the thing for the Raiders, was drafting the fastest players.
He doesn't have a 4.24. I'll tell you that one.
Ooh.
All right.
Give us 40 time. I'm ready to have my mind blown.
Give me your come on, just start naming them.
So John Ross is number 1, right?
John Ross is number 1. John Ross is the fastest 40 time ever, 4.22 seconds.
So is Chris Johnson number 2?
Chris Johnson is number 2 at 4.24 seconds. Again, these are official NFL Combine 40-yard dashes. Chris Johnson at number 2, 4.24 seconds.
Does Devin Hester have an official 40 time at a combine?
Good question. If he does, he's not in the top 11.
Because they really started recording 40 times like after 2012 or 13.
I know somebody who's on that list is Tyreek Hill. Has to be.
Tyreek is not.
Really?
This is tough.
I like that he asked us and he goes, yeah, you know what? This one's really tough.
This is really
all right. Well, if Tyreek Hill's on that list, then I'm not even going to try. So
Dree Archer.
Is Patrick
Dree Archer. Oh, do we have a pick 6 right now?
No.
No, okay. Dree Archer, number 3, 4.26, running back out of Can't Read, Can't Write, Kent State. Number 4, Jerome Mathis, wide receiver out of Hampton with a 4.26.
Okay. Well, throw the D1 AA schools out the window.
All right, here's one. At number 5 with a 4.27, wide receiver, Marquise Goodwin.
That makes sense.
Number 6 with a 4.27, Stanford Route, cornerback out of Houston, played for the Raiders. 4.27. Tyrone Calico, wide receiver, Middle Tennessee. Number 8 with a 4.28, Jalen Myrick, cornerback out of Minnesota. Number 9 with a 4.28, J.J. Nelson, wide receiver, UAB. I think this was last year, if I'm not mistaken. Number 10, wide receiver we all know, who, if I'm looking at his combine picture, just a freak athlete. Just
DK Metcalf.
No.
Probably
just
never page that.
Jacoby Ford out of Clemson. Just brick shit house. And then this one might surprise you. Number 11 with a 4.29, Fabian Washington, cornerback out of Nebraska. Interesting top 10, 11 list that we haven't done yet, but still fun.
Yeah, no, it's.
I would have gotten one out of the 11.
I would have
John
gotten
Ross.
2. I would have got John Ross and Chris Johnson. I wouldn't have
I
gotten
didn't know
Matthews.
Chris Johnson ran that fast of a 40 time.
Oh, yeah. I remember when he did it, everybody's like, oh, because when he did it, it was the fastest ever.
Where did he go to college?
Where did Chris Johnson go to college? No, look at it
Give
right
me-
now.
Don't
East
tell me where.
Carolina.
Just give me a conference.
He's a
Ah,
pirate.
damn it. See? If you said Conference USA, I would have at least gotten it in 3 guesses. Come on now.
You would have said like Tulane or some shit.
No, he's not a Greenwood guy. He doesn't strike me as a guy that would wear the
Tulsa.
Greenwood. Hurricanes.
Just the Ravens offensive line, I don't know if it's that or the Dolphins are just that powerful. But they've been in Lamar Jackson shit all night.
Here's a trivia question for you gentlemen. This is a baseball question. Who is the last two-way player to play for the Cincinnati Reds? You just said Tulane. That made me think of him. Last two-way player to play for the Cincinnati Reds. It has been in our lifetime.
Two-way player?
Two-way player. So
You mean the
pitch
Bengals?
hitter, the Reds.
Oh.
The Reds. I switched to baseball because we were talking about Tulane.
Pitch and hit?
Pitcher and a hitter and an outfielder. Besides Michael Lorenzen.
Oh, I was going to say Michael Lorenzen.
Yeah, besides Michael Lorenzen.
Okay. I mean, question.
Also, this gentleman won the John Olerud Award, which you were presented with if you were the best two-way player as a position and pitcher.
All I know is they need a fucking Devonta Freeman touchdown. For the love of God. He's not even on the field.
Mark Andrews.
This is bullshit.
He was drafted and played for the Diamondbacks before he played for the Reds.
I don't know. I don't fucking know. Todd. All right.
Micah Owings. That was his name.
No one knows Micah. I know one Micah in my life, and his last name's Parker.
Fair.
I remember Micah Owens though.
No, you don't. No one remembers Micah Owings. Just Todd and books that have dust on them.
His book.
Todd and books that are leather bound with dust. Those are the only.
Micah Owings was the only person to throw an immaculate inning and hit a home run in the same inning. Threw a 9-pitch inning and hit a home run.
What an accomplishment!
Right, pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. That's
He did
amazing.
Yeah, he did it. He did it in Tulane, in the part of the Green Wave in the College World Series. Threw an immaculate inning and hit a home run. Backside of it.
So immaculate inning is a 3-pitch inning, correct?
9-pitch inning. All
9
strikes.
Oh.
All strikeouts.
Yeah.
So what's a 3-pitch inning?
Greg Maddox. I don't
Fucking
know.
awesome. Like what? Homer Bailey in his prime. Like what is that?
I don't know. Actually, I don't know what that's called. I don't know if there's a name for a 3-pitch
There
inning.
should be
Let me see.
The premature inning.
premature striculation. Something of that extent.
I say that looks more like the Ravens we know. 9 plays, 99 yards, touchdown.
Only down 5, 4 to go, all timeouts. This whole time we're watching this game, we're like, yeah, the Dolphins are about to win this football game. The Ravens like, oh, bite your tongue.
Hold
sir.
the phone, Kosh. He's got a cannon.
Do you bite your thumb at me, sir? No, sir, but I do bite my thumb.
There's never been a 3-pitch inning in the history of Major League Baseball.
There should be.
There's never been one. Nobody's ever thrown 3 pitches in. There's somebody that's thrown 2 pitches in.
Wait, what?
Because so they came into an
Oh,
inning
they're
with
a
no out.
reliever. That's bullshit. That's bullshit.
Yeah. So that's it. There's never been anybody that's thrown a 3-pitch inning. But there has been Greg Maddox that's thrown an 84-pitch complete game, so less than 10 pitches an inning, which is, I think, in my opinion, more incredible than anything.
That's about as close as we're ever going to get.
Never
We'll
say
never see that
never.
ever
In the
again.
words of Justin Bieber, never say never, Bob.
Never say never.
Oh wow.
That Canadian's so wise.
You know, I saw something that said there was a prayer. You guys know Kanye West. Do you know who that is?
No, I never heard of him.
So Kanye West, he has his Sunday worship circles or whatever.
Yes. He also has his own high school basketball school now.
Wait. A high school basketball school?
So he started a high school that, holy shit, that is,
And they're called the college dropouts.
no.
Are you shitting me?
Wide the fuck open.
This game is insane, boys. By the way, this game's incredible.
I mean, Thursday Night Football does not disappoint. It doesn't.
It has not disappointed. So I got to tell you that. So this first year of the podcast, but this has been incredible. Every Thursday has been insane.
Best games.
Minus the Seattle game up until Geno Smith came in. Then we were fully vested in one Geno.
Honestly, though, last Thursday was pretty boring. Colts
Yeah,
game,
but yeah.
it was pretty boring. I mean, they're just beating the shit out of it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
no,
Kanye West started a high school basically just to have like a prep school for basketball.
Sure. Nice.
Thank you.
And then what? There has to be a 3-pitch inning. That's impossible. Here's a whole list of 3-pitch innings. I'm following the link. It better not be porn, Rob. You're going to a link that's outside of Facebook. I understand that. I'm trying to follow it. All right.
I know what I'm about.
This is from
These guys are
Baseball Almanac.
But
American
I
League pitchers who threw a 3-pitch inning.
There's both. Yeah.
So these don't count.
Some of them do. Some of them are
Some of
starters.
them count. Some of them count.
Tim Hudson's in there. Roy Halladay's in there when he was in the Blue Jays.
I was gonna say there are a lot of these that are just racist. Roy Halladay, well, he's a fucking Blue Jay. Wow.
Logan Webb threw one this year. If you guys aren't on the Logan Webb train for the Giants, you guys need to get vested in Logan Webb.
Here's a
Logan
name
Webb
for
is
you.
the next-
Jeff Suppan.
Ooh. Woof. Former Royal, former Red. Chapman
Logan
threw a
Webb,
3-pitch in.
3-pitch inning.
Greg Maddox has one of those. He actually has 2 of
I'm
them.
pulling up the video right now.
Kyle Loesch, when he was on the Reds, threw a 3-pitch inning.
Bronson Arroyo.
On the Reds or the Red Sox?
Reds. On the Reds.
Okay, this is bullshit. First pitch for Logan Webb hits the batter. Second pitch, double play.
So technically, see that's the variance, right? So when I think of a pitch inning, I think of 3 strikes.
Third pitch, can of corn to deep left center. Yeah.
Right.
Well, no, I'm not thinking 3 strikes. I'm thinking 3.
Hey, ground out, fly out.
Yeah, ground out or fly out, right?
So you're thinking 3 pitches, 3 outs.
Right. Which technically is what happens when you no double plays. But I feel like it should be voided if you hit a batter. If you hit a batter, it's voided.
Fair.
Each bat, no one reaches base.
I'm sure it's happened.
Has to. Clearly, I mean, Rob literally was just like, yeah, shut the fuck up, guys. Look at all of these that happened.
Well, so Google lied because when I looked up, has there ever been a 3-pitch inning? And so there was no recorded 3-pitch innings, but maybe that means something different.
The goddamn Russians is what it is, Todd.
Wow.
Need a field goal here. Oh, a false start on 2nd and 4. That is not what you need. That is not what you need. So one of the guys I was hearing that was on the hot seat as well is Mr. Brian Flores. What are you laughing at?
I like your intermissions into your next conversation. I don't know. I've enjoyed it. That was good. You said Flores is on the hot seat?
That's what I've heard. I mean, shit, look at their record.
It's true.
If they pull this game out tonight, does he get taken off the hot seat?
I don't know. They 3-7. Is that good enough?
Corey, who is that on your shirt right now?
So this says everyone's happy. It is a Manchester Orchestra t-shirt.
Ah.
I don't know if you know the band Manchester Orchestra.
Yeah.
If you haven't, listen to them because they're fucking awesome. And they also just came out with a Christmas album. So I'm not there yet. I'm not ready to listen to Christmas music yet. However, the day after, I devour an inhuman amount of turkey, stuffing, sweet potatoes, green beans, pumpkin pie, pecan pie, various soups and pasta. I will be full-fledged. I will be balls deep in tinsel and just all about Christmas.
Balls deep in tinsel.
Who's not?
The imagery, me.
Bobby, are you a Grinch? Are you a Scrooge?
He's not
Are you a curmudgeon?
No. I mean, that's not like I don't hate it. I'm not riding the Christmas train. I don't know.
You got to remember, man. You got to remember that right now Bobby is living the bachelor lifestyle, so it's different for him than it is for us.
See, here's the thing. The day after Thanksgiving, even as a child,
Thanksgiving's my favorite holiday. So after Thanksgiving's over, like that's the end of the year for me.
That's terrifying. Even as a kid, after Thanksgiving, I had the Jim Carrey Grinch on VHS. I had a TV with a VHS player built in my room, and I would just pop that in every night before I went to bed, and I would just watch the Grinch as I fell asleep. And it was one of those VHS players that once they hit the end, it self-rewound and then played. So I'd periodically, just like 3 o'clock in the morning, just be like, hello, how are you? It was Jim Carrey just doing his shit as the Grinch. And I watched it all the time. And
did you know he had to have CIA training for that role?
Wait, what?
Yeah, they taught him how to stay calm like while he's being tortured, because he basically, that costume was torture for him. They brought the CIA in. Yeah. Look it up.
Interesting.
Yeah, he could not handle the costume. He almost didn't do the role because he couldn't handle the costume.
So, actually, I had read. Shoot, I can't remember which comedian it was, but there was somebody else that was supposed to be the Grinch, other than Jim Carrey. I can't remember who it was. There was another very popular comic that was supposed to be the Grinch, other than Jim Carrey. I'm gonna look it up right now.
What was it? The Dolphins are beating the Ravens by 12 points.
Yeah,
this game's over.
I think it is.
It is over. 2 minutes and 19 seconds left.
You ready?
Ravens are on 12.
Here's who interviewed. Here's who
Auditioned.
Jack Nicholson,
Oh.
Eddie Murphy, Tom Hanks,
Wow.
Tim Curry.
It
Yeah.
was going to be
It,
Grinch.
or the lead bellman in Home Alone 2. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. That's who's going to play the Grinch. So benching Jacoby Brissett, essentially, right? That's what Brian Flores did tonight.
I won them the game.
He was told Jacoby is good to go, and he said no. 2 is in. He stuck with them, and they're about to beat the Ravens. Which,
in all fairness, Jacoby was still handling the game very well before.
No, they were winning, right? They were winning when he went out.
I don't think they've ever not had a lead the whole game, right?
And my dad just texted me as we're watching this. Gonna be another crazy week. And I think we're there in the NFL. Have we? Oh, so it would take a Lions win to reach the circle of parity. Do you guys know what the circle of parity is? Circle of parity in the NFL is where there is not a single team that hasn't beaten a team that's beaten another team. Does that make sense? So the Bengals have beaten the Steelers. The Steelers have beaten, who they just beat last week?
Bears.
The Bears. Yeah, the Steelers have beaten the Bears, and the Bears have beaten the Bengals. And you know what I mean? There's not a single team that hasn't beaten one team that's beaten another. So that would be dependent on the Lions winning. So if the Lions beat the Steelers, it might be complete. There might be no team that has beaten someone that hasn't beaten someone that hasn't beaten someone, if you know what I mean. So that typically is something that is completed around this time in an NFL season. But as we all predicted,
I think the Steelers beat them.
What's that?
I think the Steelers still beat the Lions.
Yeah,
I would love to complete this full circle of parity, but I don't think it happens.
Can we look at, as we wrap up tonight? I don't know that we need to continue the stream much longer. In that the Dolphins are probably gonna get out of here with a W. 2 minutes left.
Yeah, 2-minute warning.
Let's look at the Lions' remaining schedule. They are in Pittsburgh this week, taking on the Steelers. The following week, they're in Cleveland playing the Browns. I don't know. I don't think so. They face the Bears at home, potentially. That is the Thanksgiving game, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, on Thursday, they play the Bears on Thanksgiving Day at 12:30, as is tradition. Then they host the Vikings the next week. I guess they could win that one. Maybe. They head to Denver to face the Broncos, Cardinals in Detroit, Falcons in Atlanta, Seahawks in Seattle, Packers in Detroit. I guess there are a couple that they could win still, right?
There are.
There's a couple. Bears, Vikings, Broncos, Falcons. Shit, even the Packers if they're sitting everyone. That could be it. All right. I think we're done.
That wraps it. Yeah, that wraps up the Thursday night. I don't see.
It's almost fucking
Baltimore.
midnight.
Oh shit! Oh yeah, it is. I gotta be up in 6 hours, boys. What are you guys doing?
It's our fault.
Second time.
All right, everybody. Appreciate you guys coming out tonight. Appreciate all the likes and the shares, all the comments. You guys are awesome. We appreciate, love you guys. Have a great weekend. Best of luck to your fantasy football teams. We will catch you guys on Tuesday.
Adios.
Au revoir.